The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Man, I am your host, Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. Follow the Barbers Chat Network at BarbersChatNet on Twitter and Instagram. Follow JR Bang, and that's JR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter, H&B Media on Instagram, and of course, get in tune with our Patreon, man. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. As you see right there on the screen, you can get the local hour, which we do exclusively on the Patreon, talk about all Chicago sports. And of course, you can get the midweek show halftime as well, a whole bunch of other things we offer on the Patreon. And of course, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can go to pillarsclub.co, or you can follow Pillars_Club on Instagram. And of course, visit any of their 3 store locations in the Chicagoland area. We have got a very packed show for y'all today, man. Dante and Mikey will be joining us later in the show. Courtney is off today. My brother Flows will be joining. The homie Mike Willis will be joining. And we also got another special guest, homie Tosin, will be joining us later in the show. Before we bring our guest in, Bang, how you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We getting to the finish line of this NFL draft thing, man. Things are feeling good. I feel like for the first time this week, the fan base was united for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
I feel like we're getting into a positive direction.
Pro day Christmas happened.
Pro Day Christmas happened this week at USC, man. So speaking of USC, Los Angeles, California in general, man, I wanted to bring in our first guest, man. We've got the homie Travonne Edwards, man. What's going on? AK also known Black Trey. For those of y'all who not tuned.
What's up, man? Y'all got commercials, y'all got merch, y'all got disclaimers. What's going on, man? I need to get down with the program, man. What's up, man? Y'all signing people?
Yeah, man. We doing our thing, man. Got the whole layout, man.
Death Row deals.
Yeah, exactly.
Deals.
Yeah, we got some new since the last time you've been on here. We have upgraded a while, man. If you're not in tune with this, man, you need to follow him on Twitter at Travonne. You can follow him on Instagram at Travonne Edwards on Instagram as well. Get in tune with BOMM, which is the Black Opinions Matter Media Network. And of course, get in tune with Count the Dings, man, which is a great podcast network y'all got over there. I also want to give you a shout out too, man, because I was telling Bang before we started the show, is that you guys had the True Hoop podcast like a couple of years ago, and I remember one of my first on-air appearances was on there with you guys, Mariano, and my homie Waz. Of course, I see Waz all the damn time out here, and Jade, of course, obviously, man. We had good times on there, man. But good to have you on, brother. How you been feeling?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. Just just really grateful. Just to see another day and watch this crazy sports going on, man.
A lot of crazy sports going on, man. You were out there in the belly of the beast right now in New York City. We're gonna get into the Knicks in just a minute, but want to start off with the city you're from, Compton, California, man. We had a good conversation on it last time he was on here, like a couple years ago. We talked about like the differences and like the similarities between Compton and Chicago. Yeah. Big week for Compton this week. The legendary Dr. Dre got his Hollywood star this week. Finally, long overdue. Wow. DeMar DeRozan almost choked a nigga out last night in the Rockets Bulls game.
Mental health matters. Mental health matters. Mental health matters.
Exactly. And of course, Kendrick Lamar, man, just stirred shit up last night. I was watching Tokyo Vice last night. I got a text from my man Al Patron, and he texted me, "Yo, listen to this. Listen to Kendrick." I'm like, "What you talking about?" He's on the Future album. I was like, "I'm listening to the Future album this weekend when I'm doing." She said, "No, listen to that shit now." So I stopped what I was doing. When I tell you I had that verse on repeat for like 2 hours, it was crazy. What did you think about the verse and Kendrick basically, storming his way back into the scene, everything that's going on this week?
Oh man, shouts to Kenny, man. Honestly, well, I thought it was fun. They're three talented rappers, Drake, J. Cole and Kendrick. But I feel like there's a lot of slight. There's a lot of like they try to do Kenny like how they do Mike Jordan. Like, he the GOAT. He allegedly the GOAT, but he took time off. He only played 14 years, and who cares if he won 6 rings? Our GOAT played 21. It's the same thing. It's like, Drake ain't took no breaks. He ain't took no breaks, and just because he putting out consistent music doesn't mean that it's all fire. I rock with all 3 artists. I'm a big fan of Drake, big fan of J. Cole, definitely biased with Kenny, but I liked it. It shook things up, and I think that's where 2024 should be, is about competitiveness. You know what I mean? Even in the podcast space, I think everybody's just so sensitive and used to like everybody just kind of allowing everybody to kind of bully this scenario instead of just like, oh, I got punched in the face, and now how would I respond?
Exactly, man. And I'm a big fan of all 3 as well. I'm a bigger Kendrick and Drake fan. I was a massive Cole fan when I was in college. Like, I was a massive Cole fan, but I'm still.
Bro, that's why you can relate.
Yeah, that exactly. Like,
he made Sally Mae raps.
Right, exactly. Like Friday Night Lights was my life in 2010, so I really, really related to that. I've been a Kendrick fan since day one, but I've always been outside of Jay. Kendrick is my number 2. Like outside of Jay, that like Kendrick is that. So I also feel like I'm one of the people who I can appreciate Drake. But I also like, hitting the Drake fan. Like of course, Pappy. Pappy, it took Pappy about 45 minutes last night to embrace the fact that verse was cold. Oh. he was on his Drake fan like, that was all right.
I mean, to be fair, like Drake is the better artist of the 3, right? He makes the universal music that's played everywhere. It's socially acceptable. Like Mos Def was not trying to diss him. It's literally true. His music is being marketed in Target. It's literally marketed in Starbucks. It's marketed in any business. You could pull up his name, and I'm in the advertising space. He is in every deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's the most marketable of the 3, you know what I mean? With the most appeal. We're not taking away from that. But when you actually think about rap, when you think about the sport, and not saying that he ain't got a sharp pen. His pen is nice, but we need a break from him, him and Chubb's side missions.
That tweet was hilarious.
You know what I mean? That was that tweet. I don't know who said that. And I really think, like, again, he's sharp, but I think it's very playful. And I want to get back to like the actual, like, I don't even think Kendrick like said anything like really, 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 really crazy. You know what I'm saying? I think it was just more so like, hold up.
It was disrespectful.
It was disrespectful. Y'all, first person shooter. I'm not about to just, and that's a whole another thing. That's how first person shooter was. I listened to it and I let it go by.
Yeah.
I listened to it like, oh, them boys rapping. Shout out to that. I ain't listen to the stepper line. I ain't listen to like, oh, Kendrick and Drake, but I'm Muhammad Ali. Like getting it all to a point of like they healthy sparring. But then I seen some shit last night where they was on tour and they hugged and he was like Drake doing the pandering thing of like, yo,
which he always does. Yeah.
Yeah. So it like low key make Cole take off his armor a little bit.
Yeah.
So he can cut it kind of like, all right, let me get him out of the way. and then I can kind of go do my thing again. And like Kenny, like, man, fuck all that. Like, let's
Yeah,
bump.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Let's bump.
But you
I
know
don't
what?
care if I'm not liked.
You know what though? Like Drake, I'm not worried about in this.
Mhm.
This is more Cole and Kendrick. Because I believe that Cole and Kendrick are the only two rappers in the world right now that actually want to be the best rapper in the world. And also, if you go back to even early Kendrick and Cole, you go back to High Power. Like, remember, it was rumored for them to do an album together. I don't know how their relationship is right now, but I would assume they still keep it cool and cordial. So for them, I think that was just, hey man, that's the homie. I'm sparring with the homie, you know what I'm saying? It's Rocky 3, Rocky and Apollo at the end, you know what I'm saying? You know, with the end with the boom. Drake on the other end, that Prince Michael Jackson line, that's Drake.
That woke me up right there.
That when I heard the song finally this morning after seeing everybody text messages, it's like, okay, I see what you on, Kendrick. But when he did the Prince line, I said that man don't like Drake.
Yeah.
He don't like him.
What stood out to me even more outside of that, shout out to somebody in the chat said, don't let the Kendrick verse distract you from the fact that Future album was crazy. It was, but also,
you know what's crazy? I tweeted this out this morning. Future got another album coming in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Another album.
And let's not forget the intro.
He's
is
shooting
about Drake.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest on the power rankings. You want me to be honest?
Yeah, go ahead.
Future number 1.
I'm not mad at that. I said yesterday that
Future is the best rapper because on their off days, who they listen to?
Future.
Pluto got it.
I tweeted yesterday he's on my Mount Rushmore. He's been holding us down for about 14 years at this point. Like, I remember the first time I heard Future, and it's consistency. Like, he's around. Like, you always say Drake is around, but everything he drops isn't fire. Future is around in its heat. Like anybody else, I'd be like 2 albums in that short amount of time is too much music.
It's not flamed out.
It's not. Yeah, he did it 5 years ago with Future and Hendrix, and those albums were crazy and 2 completely different things, man. But let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about some hoops, man. You're in there in New York. The Knicks are having a really, really great year. And one thing I say about Knicks fans, I always say the comparison I make between Knicks fans and Bears fans, I say Bears fans are the football version of the Knicks. And I say that because of this. Very iconic franchise, maybe not known for winning, a very passionate fan base who sometimes teeter on delusional, national view of them where they just like making fun of them more than getting actual realistic takes off them. And also they're known for their iconic venues, Madison Square Garden, Soldier Field. And so this year they're having a really, really good year. Jalen Brunson looking like that contract was actually a steal. From what you know from being there in New York, I saw you tweet a couple weeks ago, the city's going to be on fire like when the playoffs actually start. You've been in a couple games, man. I saw you courtside with Jamal Crawford, Jeffrey. I call him Turtle. I know he's Proctor, but he'll be telling, Turtle and Wilmar was my favorite entourage character outside of Ari Gold. That's with me, but you was courtside the last couple games, man. Tell me what it's been like in New York. Is it more of a realistic we have a chance this year, or is it kind of like the usual Knicks fan just getting excited thing?
Well, let me get this out the way. I'm a Bulls fan first.
Yeah, exactly. We know that. Yeah.
This is my first year not being actual technically media, so I'm coming home. Give me next season, I'm back. Crazy tweets, frustrations, all that other stuff. This year, I'm just kind of vibing. I'm sitting in arenas. I'm just checking it out. I'm learning how to be a fan again. Yeah, I had to learn how to do that. I ain't, debating with anybody. But the energy's definitely been there. The takes have been piping hot. Kind of frustrating because I want more for the Knicks fans. I want them to actually experience what they've experienced in '99, what they experienced in, like then when they actually won something, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like not just making it to the playoffs or actually having a decent roster. Like that's very low tier of them, especially for the venue that they have and the passionate fans that they have, you know what I mean? So I think before you get excited, they got to reach a Eastern Conference Finals first. You know what I'm saying? Because like we're beyond the stage of just making it to the playoffs. Tibbs have brought that mentality already, like where they're defending, they got identity, they're figured it out. And the front office finally got it right and brought the right guys in there. I mean, they're just battling some health issues, but at the end of the day, they gotta make it, man, before they start making claims of like this is the best Knicks team in a long time. I think, or even the same thing, like Jalen Brunson's very good. I like him. I'm a fan of him. But like, let's not disrespect Patrick Ewing.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing some stuff that I'm just like, it's not sitting right with my soul.
Wait a minute. Who out here disrespecting Patrick Ewing? Like, what are we doing here?
What's doing that?
I ain't seeing shit. What's being said? Because
I mean, they just saying like, yo, this is like, he's like the second coming. You know what I mean? And I get it.
Oh, hell no.
Again, there's a lot of, you know, again, like Scott said, delusion. There's a line. There's a line. But I also don't want to steal joy. I don't want to steal joy. Joy is there. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a Knicks legend by just playing hard, right? Playing hard. You literally could play hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, wasn't Jalen got traded many moons ago? We came back. I love you, Wilson. I'm like, bro, you was here for a blink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he played hard in that uniform. Same thing I asked, what's up with why Larry Johnson? You know, Knicks legend, but we got him on the bad back years. Okay, Marcus Camby, Latrell Sprewell, you'll become an ambassador before your jersey actually go up there. The next person to probably get their jersey hung up is Carmelo, right? Yeah. And that's even up for question because they
didn't have much playoff success.
Yeah, like, so it's even tricky, man. And it's like for a franchise that haven't won anything in like 40, 50 years now, it's hard to like say like, y'all can't really shit on Philly. Y'all can't really shit on any of these teams.
Yeah.
Because, you know, getting a playoff berth isn't enough anymore.
No. I mean, you can't even shit on Miami. I mean, I saw a lot of people like bring on Miami. I'm like, y'all don't want that.
Miami is who
people think the Celtics off. You want to be real about it.
Like Miami is who like should have the arrogance of a Warriors, the arrogance of a Lakers, arrogance of the Knicks, arrogance of those franchises that actually have historic things. And I only say that because they've had 2 trips to the finals in the last 5 years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where you could stick your chest out and say, all right, we're making some moves on this thing and we actually have a stake in this conversation. You know what I mean? But like, no diss. Like I said, I'm enjoying it. And I think that if the Knicks could get healthy in this playoff series and make a run, I'm scared. I'm gonna think Jesus coming back, bro. Because like the Knicks playing basketball during good weather. Oh, the city is unmatched. No city's touching this. Shout out to Chicago. I love Chicago, by the way. But
even Chicago, it's a Bears town. That's why I was making the comparison. Like with the Knicks, like the first 4 touchdown Caleb Williams game next season is going to be. You want to talk about hot takes? First of all, I'm gonna be wilding. Let's be very clear. I'm gonna be wilding. But then it's gonna be like the same thing where you have like people are like, I told somebody this and somebody thought I was tweaking, but it's really serious. I said all the Bears have to do, Caleb Williams have to do is win 1 Super Bowl with the Bears, and he'll probably be over Jordan. Like, and people, I know that sounds blasphemous to people, but we just care about football more.
Yep.
That not that we don't care about the Bulls, but the Bears won. I've been on the Bears beat for 3 years. They have won a combined 14 games in my 3 years covering that team, and they're still front page news. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I feel like the same vibe from the Knicks where you'll have somebody, I had somebody tell me Jalen Brunson was better than SGA. And I'm like, look, I like Jalen. Let's not do too much here.
Look, man, the takes are they're a lot. They're a lot.
Yeah.
And like I said, I hate to be the thief of joy.
Yeah.
I want everybody to enjoy this. I'm enjoying it. But like, let's relax our limbs. We doing a lot here. You know what I mean? That's like if the Bulls got Kevin Durant randomly, right?
Right now and shit, yeah.
Right now. Like, they're going to be like, oh, my God. We're going to be like, yo, still.
Yeah, chill out.
Because it don't mean no guarantee ring. Going to win a little bit more games. We're going to do all this other stuff. And cool. But, you know, like I said, respect to the Knicks. I really want them to do well. But, like, let's just come back down to earth. Let's not disrespect Pat. Let's get out the first round.
Yeah.
Get healthy, and then we can have a conversation.
Definitely. Let's talk about the NBA regular season, man. I've said on this show that, and maybe you can give me a better opinion on this. I feel like this has been the hardest regular season for me to personally watch because, I feel like the beginning of the season, I felt like the in-season tournament was great. I didn't like the idea at first. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But as I watched it was competitive. The games felt important. And I know people made fun of the banner thing, especially because it was the Lakers. And, Lakers need to be very specific with what they're putting up in their rafters. But I felt it was fun. But I feel like the regular season slowly starting to feel like it just doesn't matter anymore. And I do think the last couple years playoffs have been very entertaining. So I'm expecting a good playoffs. I'm expecting a good play-in. But it's got to the point where I even feel like the NBA is maybe ducking NFL smoke. We've talked about it here. They don't even schedule games on Thursday doing Thursday night football. Now, I understand they're not going to win the ratings battle regardless, but I always feel like you should have an option for people who don't care about the NFL, who want to watch that. What do you think about the NBA's regular season strategy? Do you think they should shift it? What can they do to make it more important for the casual viewer?
Well, I think the in-season tournament is way too early. I think it should be swapped out for All-Star Weekend in February because that gives a momentum of teams coming like that really need those wins to go into, that playoff race.
Right.
I think the All-Star Weekend should be moved to the summer. I know, obviously, the Olympics goes on from time to time, but I think it would be good because everybody would be available, no real heavy risk, everybody's still active, everybody could travel at that particular time, and you don't have to worry about guys missing or this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And guys will be fresh to actually compete. They'll be hungry to play basketball because their season, especially the guys that potentially made. So it'll piggyback off the Pro Bowl, but actually play. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think I liked what Gilbert Arenas said, even though he has some crazy ass takes.
Oh, yes, he does.
I like the entertainment part. Like basketball is entertainment. It's losing its competitiveness. I think guys still compete, but there's so much added to it. Now you got the gambling. You got, guys being penalized for games being played. Like there's a different approach. Like Tyrese Halliburton's stinky because he's playing hurt. Like. You don't have to put a fraud thing up there. He's been hurt. He rushed himself.
Yeah, he's been hurt for a couple months now.
He's been hurt, but his hamstring's cooked, but he's trying to reach these 65 games.
Yeah.
And I think that's a conversation CJ McCollum and the Player Association going to have to re-huddle and say, all right, this is getting ridiculous, bro. Like, you nice or you not? You know what I mean? Like, we reward people that dominated for a good percentage and their peers agree.
Yeah.
Versus this whole, all right, bro, you only killed for 45 games, so it ain't going to be enough.
Yeah.
You scored 40, 45 of them games.
But not the other 20.
Here, you got it, bro. Yeah. I mean, let's just be realistic because our interest's not there. I'm treating basketball now like baseball. I like baseball, but I don't
like long-ass season
games. Nowadays, I'm going to go to a Yankee game here and there because I'm a Yankee fan, right? But I go postseason. I don't tap into postseason because I'm just spent. I'm not going to care about a back-to-back. I'm not going to care about that's a whole nother thing from a casual fan watching games, and they don't understand that guy on minute restriction. You know what I mean? They flew in late, so they might not play. Back-to-backs, these certain things, certain guys, that's going to be an automatic win for the team hosting. You know what I mean? Like certain things, like teams ain't caring no more to get a regular season win and keep us going no more. It's like, I'm just trying to make it to April, bro, because a freak accident can happen.
Yeah.
So like its availability is your biggest strength and a little bit of luck.
Definitely. Go ahead.
Speaking of availability, you know what I'm saying? We got Cat that's out for the foreseeable future right now because of like a torn meniscus and everything. So we got Ant-Man out here that's holding it down and making highlight reels for dunks that's not dunks. We'll talk about that a little later though. Hard layups, as I call them. And then we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, when you look at the Timberwolves and you look at the Thunder, these are not traditional winners, and they're smaller markets. So no matter how good they are, people are going to not believe in them until they make the big jump. So considering where they are in the standings, do you think this team both teams or any of the teams have what it takes to make an extended run in the playoffs?
Absolutely not. 7 through 10 are licking their chops.
Yes.
I know it's a bloodbath down there, but whoever come up with that 7 and 8,
see, that's why I posed the question the way that I posed it.
All them bottom teams right now are just worried about getting in.
Yep.
And everybody can have their jokes. It is harder at the basically it is more difficult at the bottom than the top, because them top teams is gonna get kicked out ASAP. They young, they cool, but they are not ready. The Lakers get the Thunder. Oh my God.
They gonna
beat. Listen,
I think they swept them in the regular season already.
But that's who they want. That's who they want. Seeding don't really matter. Just get in.
Yep.
Phoenix get them. Come on, run it. Like Phoenix got bigger problems. They can't beat the Denvers. They can't beat I'm trying to think of another team that's really tough for them.
I don't think they can beat the Clippers this year. They damn near shouldn't beat them last year.
Clippers too inconsistent right now. They dealing with that injury bug too. Like anything, I don't trust them right now until they can prove that they bring in comfortable group of guys into the first round. I was high on them early on, and they tricked me up out my position. And I'm good, bro. I love those dudes, but no, until they can prove that they're healthy, no. But that 1 and 2, love SGA, love Ant. They got to prove it. They're not cracking.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott. Now, I was just going to say, too, like, even with, like, if you look at the Warriors, same thing. And I think that's where the experience factor comes in. I don't believe in OKC or Minnesota. I believe in Minnesota more than I believe in OKC, just because
they got more vets.
More vets defensively. They've been to the playoffs a couple times. I think if you're – I hate everything about Phoenix's makeup. I just don't like how that team was constructed. But I think even if you're Phoenix, Dallas – the Warriors and the Lakers, you want that. The Thunder's a team you want to see, in my personal opinion. So I want to tell you, and this is, to go to the Wolves, because I know, Bang, you're going to say that. I just want to know what you feel about the Warriors when it comes to one of those two top teams. Or like the Warriors' chances with it. We got you there. We lose you. You hear me?
I think he idle right now. Bang, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So Scott said something.
Okay, so how do you feel about the Warriors' chances specifically against one of those teams?
Draymond fool ass. I don't know what to expect with him, man, because he looked like he was.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
All right, cool. All right. I was wondering what the hell happened. My fault.
It was you for a minute, JR, and then it was him. So I do believe in the Warriors. I know, I thought Draymond kind of got his act together, but like he kind of back on that BS. So I think that's their biggest hurdle, but I don't count them out. You know what I mean? I think the biggest move they ever made was putting Klay on the bench and Klay accepting that role and being able to be effective. You know what I mean? So in those type of things, you got to understand, like, I trust them, but again, I'm not gonna really mog out, Minnesota like that and really disrespect their body of work, because they may shock us, but they gotta prove it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard because people was, when the season first started, they was like, they got a couple wins, they gonna fall off. They kept it rolling. But again, we're gonna have to prove the doubters wrong one more time. And I'm a doubter, and I'm okay with being wrong. Go to my mentions, tell me I don't know shit, tell me I'm trash, talk about my mama. I don't care. That's the beauty of this game, because if we knew all the right takes, we would have Biff Almanac, and I would have $1 billion.
Hey, shouts out to that Back to the Future reference. All right, it looks like the team that's the runaway favorite to win it all is the Boston Celtics. They out here kicking everybody's ass. Damn near anytime you see them, they winning by at least a dub. They're a deep team, but sometimes their coaches a tweak. And sometimes against some opponents, they don't necessarily. Sometimes they can play to their competition. So with that being said, do you believe in the Boston Celtics, and do you think they're the runaway favorite to win this championship?
I don't believe, and I don't trust Jason Tatum.
Me neither.
But at the end of the day, it's tough because Jason Tatum's been winning for a long time at a very young age, and it's hard to be like, I don't trust bruh like that. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks because we just ready for him to make that jump. He's been proclaimed the next. You know what I mean? Like, I personally, and this is my hot take, I don't believe, bro, Kobe had no predecessors in this situation. Everybody that claimed, Mamba mentality, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, Y'all not locked in like Brian, bro.
Nope.
No, none of them dudes is like that, bro.
It sounds good.
It sound good. It's
like
just
a Hallmark card.
No, it's like, yo, that's my favorite player. Michael Jordan was my favorite player. I don't play like Mike, bro. I don't have that mentality. Mike was greedy. He was greedy, bro.
Yeah.
They not like Kobe, bro. And that's
Yeah.
cool. That's okay. You come in your own, basically. But at the end of the day, with the whole Kobe wristband, the armband,
and that was nasty as a Celtic. I'm sorry. That was nasty work.
And it's just like they roll. They got it. They got the makeup of a team, bro. I respect them for that. Mazzulla got them buying in. They really roll. But at the end of the day, bro, until he prove it, I can't buy in, bro. They just get weird around like the pressure games. They see a Philly, they see a Miami, and then they just fold.
Yeah, I'm with you. At the same time, if they do roll off one, I've said it on this show, if they roll off one, they might get 3 straight. Because they are a team that they're one of those teams like the Bulls in 91. It's like when Mike finally get a sniff of a championship, he ain't letting it go. And they got they have a young enough team of people like that, not like Mike, but people like if you give them a taste of a title, they're not going to be overly excited because they ain't even overly excited now. Mm-hmm. But that's also why I don't believe, and BC just said it. If Kobe was here, I don't think Kobe would take to be like, look at Jason Tatum and be like, hey, man, that's cool that you wearing my armband.
No, not as a Celtic, he wouldn't.
No, Kobe's going to be like, yo, take that shit off, G. Like, we don't want to mess with him.
To be fair, he wouldn't wear it. He wouldn't wear it if Kobe was still here.
That's just also true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think guys would be trying to do the whole Kobe, Michael Jordan thing of bothering him, but I don't think Kobe really would be locked in just like, all right, he going to be like, yo, I gave y'all the tools. Now what you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And if you ain't met that, then you not like me. Stop saying you like me. You get what I'm saying? Because I like booking them, but like, bro, it be some shit where it just do not turn over. Like, you know what I mean? Like Kobe he is shooting to like, all right, I'm gonna just will his team. And I think we've got blinded by analytics so much to a point. Like, again, I'm not trying to shit on analytics, by the way, but because there is a place for that in the game. But we've gotten to a point where a guy cares so much about efficiency than actually trying to will their team to victory. That's why AI got the Sixers to the finals. That's why a Kobe would have an 81 points. Bro, he refused to pass it to bum ass niggas.
And then also, I think we also underestimate Kobe's hate for the Celtics. He also said that he was not going to do the redeem team if KG and Paul Pierce was on that team. So we got to keep that in there too, man. But Trey, man, we know you got a role, man. I'm glad you could come on here and join us, man. Always good to talk with you, man. If y'all not in tune with Trey, y'all need to follow him at his Twitter at Travonne. You can follow him on Instagram at Travonne Edwards. Man, is there anything you want to say before we get you up out of here, G?
Nah, man, I appreciate the love, man. You know, we fam. When you reached out, I'm like, you know, I jump on easy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely not tripping. Always here, you know what I mean? Can't wait to talk about the Bulls next year. That's it.
Hopefully there's something they give us something to talk about.
Bring me back during summer league or, you know, the draft or something like that, because I'm going to really be locked in and we're going to be able to do some stuff right there. But, man, JR, I'm about to follow you, bro. Pleasure talking to you. Scott.
Yes, sir.
Show, man.
My G, good to have you on, bro.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. So we're going to get into, before we get in there, we're going to bring Mike in. Mike, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, move a little bit to, there we go. Move a little bit to the screen a little bit. There we go.
I don't know. It's looking like, okay, I got you.
Yeah, there we go.
What's going on?
We got you here, man. Mike,
I'm getting kind of old.
You know, getting kind of, you know, we all getting old, G. But as we were getting into this, man, you know, actually we got Mikey here too. We got all the mics in here.
Hey,
what's the word?
What's going on? Before we get into the shits, as I want to defend myself again in this Caleb Williams expectations argument, part 2. As Bang wanted to call me everything but a child of God in group chat the other day. I want to talk about
Don't
Bang.
do that. Don't do that. Your ass kicked that shit off. I was working, y'all. Mike, I was literally getting out of a meeting. And all of a sudden I look at my phone like, damn, what did I do? Like, you said the same thing as me. Like, it's like, oh.
Nah, look, so before we get into that, I want to say, Bang, why do you hate the Anthony Edwards dunk the other night?
That's not a dunk. That's a hard layup. Like a dunk
hard
is
layup
actually
hilarious. That's
fam.
hilarious. I like that.
Dunking the ball requires you to grab the win. I'm not saying the shit wasn't nice. The shit was amazing. But I blame, you know what I blame? I blame Dwight Howard. Here's why I blame Dwight Howard.
I didn't like the Dwight in the dunk contest when he threw it
Thank
in
you. That's what that
It wasn't
was.
Yeah.
Right, that's what that was. Not saying that he didn't try to yam on his ass, because he did. It just wasn't a dunk. And you know why it wasn't a dunk? Because the nigga damn near fucked up his finger because he hit the tip of that bitch trying to dunk. The dunk that happened to Austin Reeves, that's a dunk. The man put his nuts in his face and he grabbed the rim. He yanked that bitch. Like, a dunk has to be like this, fam. Like, you have to do this. You don't slap a titty, fam. That's what he did. He slapped a titty. That's the difference. But it was nice. Like, it was cold. But when I looked at it the second time, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, this nigga didn't even grab the rim, man. You gotta grab the rim, fam. That's all. But Dwight Howard won the dunking contest by just basically a hard layup. And that's why we doing this shit. The DeAndre Jordan shit too. I think it was DeAndre Jordan. Or Blake Griffin.
Yeah, it was Blake Griffin.
Yeah, it was Blake Griffin when he
just threw it in. He just threw
it in, fam. Like, no, this is not the bozo show.
DeAndre Jordan actually dunked on, but
he dunked on Shorty. Yeah, so I think it was nice. It just wasn't a dunk. It was a hard ass layup.
Hard layup is hilarious.
I mean, look, most all hard layups, I thought he at least put that motherfucker in from every angle I saw.
Nigga.
He threw it in. You know,
Howard. He was
right.
It wasn't as
it's like
Dwight Howard.
It's like when you get home from work and you take off your work clothes and you just throw the shit in the hamper. Like, that's what he did. He just threw it down with a little velo.
That's a little bit more
So we got like this. We got my brother here as we were trying to get on the same page, time wise. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Sorry, my students are loud.
Oh, you still at work?
I am still in the building, yes.
Oh, you still in the building?
We don't want a good principal. We want Mr. Clark.
Oh man, but why I wanted to have y'all on here today because I wanted to rehash a debate we had on here on the show on Monday. We were talking about Caleb Williams' expectations. Now, Bang, correct me if I'm wrong.
Here you go. He about to attack me, y'all. I'm ready for it. I'm alone now too.
Cool. Yeah, I brought back up this time.
Nigga got me cornered.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I said on the show that to me, Bears fans need to have their expectations be based on what they want Caleb to be, and not because they're upset that Justin Fields got traded. And I said my numbers for him was 3,500 yards. 28 touchdowns and no more than 15 interceptions. Courtney said that she needed to see the CJ Stroud numbers, which was 4,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I said 5,000. I mean, I said 5 interceptions and 4,000 yards is a little crazy. And so I said he's still a rookie. I said he's gonna go through peaks and valleys. And Bang said you can't. You both go. All three of y'all, Bang, Dante, and Courtney, all said that I was being hypocritical.
Let me rephrase it for you.
Go ahead.
I said to you, you are tempering expectations by using the R word. What I said is when you say that is giving you're not trying to do it, because I clearly heard what you were saying. What I was telling you is that you're not trying to do it, but when you say, remember, he's just a rookie, you're using it as a caveat. But we all have to realize that the expectations have to be higher with who you have on your team with you. If this was a situation where he was throwing to what Bryce Young was throwing to, then I would totally understand. But I can't give him the rookie line based off of he's coming into a situation that is unlike anything that a rookie has ever came into in the NFL. So if we're talking about the talent this is not, the Jason Fields group that's like, yo, he better do it. I'm saying that if he's what you believe he is, if he is what the press says he is, if he is what the tape says he is, combined with coming in to a situation with 2 number ones, a top 10 possible tight end, a running back who's just come off his best season, and an improving offensive line, your expectations has to be better because he's coming into a situation unlike anything anyone has ever seen for a rookie quarterback. So I'm not going to give him the rookie coin only because of that. If he was coming in like the Carolina, then it's like, oh yeah, he a rookie. He gonna go through his growing pains, but he also has enough vets, top flight vets on the team to where if he hits a rookie wall, he has people there to support him, and they not huff ass people. Like he's not coming into the situation where like Steve Walsh is your backup quarterback, and that's the only vet that you got on the team. So they're expecting you to build. No, he's coming into a situation where he's almost in a sense like Brock Purdy, but a better version of it. Because look at the talent that Brock Purdy has around him. He has a whole load of talent. Guess who else now has that? As a rookie, the number 1 pick in the draft, Caleb Williams. So I do what I said to you, because for y'all to understand, we agreed on the amount, but that to me is the base. And he tried to yell at me and come down on me and shit. But I do expect the CJ Stroud numbers because of who he comes in with. He's not coming in with no huff-ass players, y'all.
Okay, that's fair. See, this is what happens when you explained it more, because at the time y'all was just yelling at me on Friday.
That's what I was trying to say.
He yelling at me.
He was yelling at me. Y'all was yelling at me. Everybody in the comments like Scott getting jumped.
Scott, that's what I was trying to say, but you kept telling me, that I was like, yo, you thinking about Justin Fields? No, fuck that nigga. That nigga's a Steeler now.
We move, G. We move. Scott, what we say? We move, bro.
We move, bro.
I want to go to Mike.
Oh, first. I forgot. Flo's at work. My bad.
This nigga got his headphones on.
I'm just saying, still. No, I gotta be respectable.
He said, "No, I don't."
No, I do not.
Oh, see.
Well, I want to go to Mikey first, because you weren't here for the main show on Monday. What are your expectations for Caleb in this rookie season?
My realistic expectations were set at about 3,900, 3,975 yards, 28 total touchdowns. I mean, we can get that in passing. We can get that in running. I think if he's giving you 28 in passing, you have to probably think he's probably going to give you another 3 more rushing. So I'll just go with 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, and I said 12 interceptions. Now, to me, like I said last week in the local hour, I think, you have to give him grace because he is a rookie. And we also, us as Chicago Bears fans, we do not know what to expect from Shane Waldron's offense in this iteration in Chicago. We have yet to see it. It's not like we know an exact, like, okay, we're removing Justin and we're dropping in Caleb into Luke Getsy's system, so this should not work. Everything is going to be a work in progress. Still, with that being said, I think, we went over this before. No quarterback taken in the top 5 has ever come into his rookie season with 2 1,200 receiving yard wide receivers. So he is set up, for success. And I think, we also have to remember that the Shane Waldron offense is really predicated on 12-man personnel, and they are going to run the shit out of the ball. They're going to go ahead and use all 3 running backs. So his numbers might be a little down, but that's not really expecting a lot in today's game. 3,500 yards in today's game is about standard for the top 16 quarterbacks. So if he's a top 16, top 17 quarterback, then that's where he should be regardless. So I'm not going to go as far as Courtney. She was fucking tweaking. Right? You got to realize with CJ Stroud, no, there's only 3 quarterbacks that have ever come in and led the league in passing. It was in interceptions and like the leading for the least amount of interceptions and passing.
Yeah.
And it was like Joe Montana, somebody else fucking godly, and CJ Stroud. Like what we saw last year was ridiculous. So to put that on him, it's just not going to work like that. But I still believe 3,900 yards in today's climate, and that's expecting it. That's if he plays, about 18 games, 17 games, the full allotment. I mean, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of 198 passing yard games from him. So his numbers are going to increase. His numbers are going to increase. You just look at just in comparing what we saw from Justin last year. He was almost about 2,500 yards in only 13 games, and he had a lot of sub 200 passing yard games. So if he's just throwing out 220, he's going to escalate. He's going to probably break a lot of our passing records in year one, just because of, like Bang said, his skill set and his traits, but also that's just where the game is. So as long as he stays healthy and with these weapons, he's going to be able to put up numbers.
Hey, Mike, before you go, Scott, before you say it, I'm pulling up Geno Smith stats. 2022, damn near 70% completions percentage, 4,282 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Amazing.
Last year, missed a couple of games too. 3,629. Mikey, what you just said, I think is the big picture here. Even though you don't agree, the big picture here is, fam, we are used to seeing 175 passing yards. That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But he rolls off 225, 250 games, a couple of 300 games here. That 4,000 yards is the possibility. It is the possibility. And again, I'm also not basing this off of just what I think blindly. I'm also basing this because I feel like that I be the only one that actually look at the teams we gonna play. Go look at the teams we gonna play. He can get that.
Exactly. So go ahead, Scott.
No, go ahead.
So this is a few things. When we was talking about, the expectations of him, and I asked it on Twitter, and I was like 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, keep it under, 15 picks. But as the days go on, I'm watching stuff and I'm thinking something. I'm telling y'all, this might be a tape. I know the CJ Stroud shit was amazing. What was amazing with the CJ Stroud was the 5 interceptions.
With the picks.
That's just
crazy.
Real shit, bro. He's about to have one of the best rookie seasons ever. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Poles, Eberflus, everyone in that organization wants to look like a genius and wants to make it look like they made the right decision. And what they're going to do is they're going to make him look amazing. These weapons that they're getting for him, they're going to get better. The system is going to be easier. You know what I'm saying? I just looked, I'm like, the only thing that can stop him from having 4,000 yards is he's just turning the ball over and he's just not an accurate quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over. He had 5 interceptions last year, right?
Yeah. 3
of them came against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He had a bad game. You take that game away, he has 2 interceptions.
Picks.
He played 3 seasons, right? He never had.
And that's with having to play from behind a lot because he had the worst defense in college football.
Exactly. That's what everyone say. They said, man, the only thing they worry about is him taking a risk. Well, the risk is going good because he only threw 5 picks.
My brother looks like he wants to bring us down to reality real quick. Joe, go
ahead. Yeah, you niggas definitely need to be taken down to reality. What are you talking about?
You're at work.
First of all, I will say it's not out the realm of possibility for him to throw.
He could get 4,000 yards. That's 235 yards a game.
Bingo.
There have only been 5 rookie quarterbacks in NFL history to ever throw for 4,000 yards or more.
And they never had the talent that he got around him.
That's true. But some of them have had worse talent and still did it. So just because we're seeing talent is not a guarantee. It's just not a guarantee.
Oh, we didn't say it's a guarantee.
I don't think it's a wise prediction. Just because NFL quarterbacking is like flipping a coin. There's really no tell on how well it can be. Now, to your point, the person who did throw the most yards as a rookie was Andrew Luck. And I think Andrew Luck, he threw 4,300 yards, which he did have the
And
second.
he had 18 picks.
Did he throw 18 picks?
He threw 18 picks.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, he was out here throwing picks.
But he wasn't afraid to throw. He did have probably the second greatest talent for a rookie quarterback ever. So I will give you that. Caleb has a much better opportunity than the 4 quarterbacks who threw for 4,000 yards.
Cam threw for 4,100 and ran for almost 800.
Yeah, Cam threw for 4,051. You got Andrew Luck, Justin Herbert,
and he ran for 800.
Stroud, and then Jameis Winston.
Real quick before you go, was that Steve Smith? Was Steve Smith and Greg Olsen on that team?
Yes, yes. They went 6-10 though.
So I just want to make sure.
Then of course it's like Jameis Winston and Justin Herbert, Justin Herbert had the dudes on the Bears now. Obviously,
let me flows to your point right here. Let me ask you this: do you consider last year, although he had already been in Green Bay's system for a few years and learning, do you consider that Jordan Love's rookie year as being the full-on starter?
No.
Okay. No, yeah, I get it. But like in looking at a full sample size of him, because we all saw the start he had, he was rough, and then he took off. And he still ended up with 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 11 picks. Now, fucking LaFleur is a genius up there, and that guy knows.
I was about to say, can Waldron scheme like LaFleur? LaFleur gets wide receivers open better than anybody in football right now.
Right.
I would say, when it comes to Caleb, I think 38 is reasonable. I think 28 touchdowns total is not bad because he's definitely athletic. He can get himself about 5 touchdowns, whether it's just a rush from the goal line, or whether he sneaks out and gets himself maybe a 10, 15-yard run. That's very possible. 3,100 is probably where I leave it, just because there are going to be like 180-yard passing games just because he's a rookie, and it's just different. That being said, Justin Fields was never, I don't think even if at his peak, he would ever be a 4,000-yard passer. He didn't get 4,000 yards in college. His highest is like 3,200 yards, but he also rushed for like 600. That's just who he is. Caleb does have a better chance, but I still have no clue whether he will adapt to that NFL speed, to the fact that the linemen can run as fast as your receivers did in college. That's just a big thing. In addition to that, it's the Bears tax that fans have to deal with, which is the Bears won't know how to develop QBs until they develop QBs. And right now, I'm just cautious. Now, if he does come in here, I will say, maybe it's been just the fact that you needed a good quarterback all along. But as of right now, I'm just very, very cautious. I'm going
to tell you why I'm not cautious. Reason why I'm not cautious, because we've never been in a situation where we was drafting the number 1 pick in the draft. We've never been in a situation where we was drafting 1 or 2 of the best talents in the NFL. We've never been in this position. So I understand the caution. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you said, the Bears tax. You are 100% right. But at a certain point, we got to throw that out the window. We've in our lifetime, we have never drafted number 1. So the expectation when you draft number 1 is that you're drafting the best player in the draft. Now, clearly, that's Murder Marv Harrison Jr. But number 2 on every other board is Caleb Williams. I can see the first 2 or 3 games that we get the 200-yard game. But when he gets it, we're getting at least 2 400-yard, 350, 400-yard games. We're getting at least 2 of those. Go look at the teams he's playing. When he gets it, and I can see the New England Patriots game at home, depending on when that game is, I can already mark a 350 on that one right there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, whose defense was giving up a lot of shit from the middle and the end of the season.
I can see Commanders again.
We play the Commanders
again too.
I can see a 350-yard game. He's not going to.
And Mike, that's the homecoming game because that's in DC again.
Right. He gonna want to show out in front of the crib.
I was going to ask a question. Why are we playing Washington 3 years
in a
row?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Why are we playing them 3 years in Washington too. I have no problem going to DC 2 years in a row, but I just want to know why it was scheduled like that. But I got a question for y'all. And this is something I had in local.
Oh, wait a minute. To answer that question, because I got it up. The Bears play the NFC West and the AFC South, and they said that they're also facing 3 opponents that finish in the same place in the standings in the NFC South and the NFC South, AFC East, and the NFC East. So we're playing them because they was last place again.
Oh, I know. So I always wonder how they pick the random teams. So is that something new?
No, that's how they
pick
do
a division from the NFC. You pick a division from the AFC, and then it's like 4 other loose games. But
yeah, they rotate, and then depending on the place you are, like it's like 3 games that you will play against opponents that finish just like you. So that's why.
Well, I got questions.
I'm going to chime in before you have your question. Bang, I think the concept of, we got to get rid of that Bears mentality of fear and all that is very, very valid. However, I'm 33 years old. I'm not going to be delusional either way, which is the Bears will never be good. The Bears always have hope. I'm somewhere in the middle. And as of right now, Caleb, if he threw for 4,000, I'm not shocked. If he threw for 30 touchdowns, I honestly would not be shocked because the Bears have never had a QB prospect this good. They actually also never had a QB prospect as good as Justin. So all it takes for me, more than the players, is the system that they're in. And I'm not afraid, but I'm still skeptical until I'm not.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I expect all of y'all to be that way. I ain't mad at that.
I ain't being cautious. He finna.
I'm not the way. I'm not. Fuck that.
We move.
We move, bro. He finna spin that bitch. They can't look stupid. I'm finna set this nigga up to make this nigga look. Even if he average, they finna make him look amazing. Look, they better.
Hey, Mikey, I'm gonna tell you why I'm not cautious. Because the teams that they play, not in the division, they barely they barely even improved. Like Seattle probably didn't. They got a new coach. They didn't really improve in this offseason. The draft ain't gonna do it. Jacksonville, they lost players. Tennessee, hell no. Carolina, come on, man. New England, come on, Jack. San Francisco, we getting our ass kicked. Arizona, the Texans, that's going to be a good-ass game, but we're probably going to lose that in Houston. The Colts game, I don't know nothing about Anthony Richardson right now, so I don't know.
They lost Gardner Minshew because he was spinning that bitch too.
And then the Commanders, I'm not predicting games. I'm not saying that we're going to win those games. That's not the prediction. What I'm saying is the teams that we play, we have not seen them really improve outside of the damn Houston Texans, which to me, I said they having the best offseason so far. So I'm basing this off of the teams they play and not out of blind hope. And if you look at the teams they play, I don't care who would have been that quarterback. We straight this year.
Exactly. If you can't get 10 with this, we're cursed.
Oh, right? I'm going to say, I'm definitely expecting wins. I'm expecting a straight number wins, and I'm expecting a thumping of Washington.
Man!
That's what I said. I'm not super delusional, but I'm also not afraid. They better beat Washington by 3 touchdowns.
Man.
We got Dante here. Dante is via where you at, bro? You in San Fran?
Yeah, I'm in San Francisco.
You in San Francisco doing this thing. But Dante, we're basically just recapping the debate we had on here on Monday about Caleb expectations. And I think we've all come to an agreement. I still don't know. Well, basically what we were saying, and from Monday, you still saying that you need to see what, like, extremely off the top, generational results out the gate.
I need to see exceptional play from someone who y'all told me was an exceptional quarterback for the past 3 goddamn years. I feel like that's not
fair enough.
That's not a difficult request for me to ask that. You know what I'm saying? I know he's going to have his rookie struggles here and there, but overall, I expect him to be extremely, extremely good. Like, I know I don't. I'm not going to lie to expect.
I just want to ask this one question to Joe and then Mike, and then we're going to bring our next guest in. I know, Joe, you still got to work. But so here's a question. This just for Joe and Mike. This is just for Joe and Mike because Mikey and Bang and Dante, we're talking about this local album. Joe, you talking about like with Bears fans. Now, Caleb already has the superstar element. I'm not saying he's a superstar yet, but the superstar element. We've even had, comments from jailers with that Hollywood stuff not going to fly in the locker room. Now, me personally, I don't get where they get the Hollywood thing from him. He personally never came off that way to me. Now, the hype around him, for sure. Now, my question for you, Joe, obviously, as a Bears fan, with us being on the Bears beat, do you think it's a 3-way thing to me? Is Caleb ready for Chicago media and the Bears fans? Are the Bears organization ready for the superstar element that comes with Caleb? And are Bears fans ready for that? And because as you said, Ben, a couple days ago, we like Justin. He's more cool. Caleb come out like he's buddy ass, but like he comes with a lot of hype with him. And Chicago niggas, we don't like that off the rip. Joe, what do you think about like that 3 thing right there? Do you think that everybody's ready for what we have coming?
No, absolutely not. I mean, because Justin was a star due to media attention and the fact that Bears are quarterback starved, but also his mentality. I always say, like, he fit in well with the Midwest. He had the Midwest attitude of just put your head down, do your job. Caleb is not from that cloth, but I'm not saying he's like a freaking diva or something. But I don't think Chicago is ready for the mindset that he probably brings, which will be a lot of attention. It might be flashy. I don't think it's flamboyant, but I hope it doesn't jar with a lot of the good old Midwestern boy style that Chicago has. Like, oh, he's just a diva. Oh, he's not going to put his head down and do the work. Because at the end of the day, Chicago fans will find something to be upset with. No. I have no belief or faith that Bears fans are ready for that. Because when is the last time they've had someone who not only was a superstar in ability, but superstar also within the media, within the persona? They called him at one point the greatest QB prospect ever. That alone is going to bring you attention. And then they always hyper-focused on what he did. Like, oh, he painted his fingernails, which who gives a shit about? But those things and having him having his life hyper-focused is something that I don't think Bears fans are going to be ready for. And I'm pretty sure if he has one bad game, they're going to slander him for that and then use that as a way, like an ad hominem attack, and attack his character rather than attack his play on the field, which is fine to criticize him if he does bad. But unfortunately, they're going to use it against him. And that is what it is. And on top of that, I hope Caleb also realizes this is a QB-starved city. It's not like you're going into San Fran where you kind of deal with that. You deal with the Eagles of San Fran because it's freaking San Francisco. This is Chicago. Even though it's a big city, it might as well be a freaking field of corn, like a small little western town. Because as big as it is, it's very, very small.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Before we hold on real quick, Mike. Hold on real quick. Joe, let them know they can follow you, man. I know you gotta bounce. We can get you out of here.
Flo Zandolini on Twitter, on pretty much every social media.
Alrighty then. That's Flo Zandolini, 1/2 Saturday Night the Howlers, co-CEO of the Barbershop Network. We gonna bring in my homie, man, my homie Tosa, man. This is my guy right here. Hold on, there we go. I don't know why. Dante, you need to be there. We go. All right, we get right here. So we got everybody right here. So this is my guy, man. I'm gonna give y'all give you your proper intro. This is my guy Tosa, man. If y'all not in tune with this dude, you want to get all the the best soccer content and everything like that. This is the guy that you need to get in tune with, man. This is my homie, man. We've been Twitter homies for a minute. We finally linked up in New York in December. We have had a good time out there, man. As Mike knows, sometimes when I get drunk, I fall asleep in the spot. We the spot. Nigga almost got knocked out of in that bitch. But we had a good time, man. Wanted to bring you on to talk some football and everything, man. But how you feeling, bro?
I'm good. I cannot complain. I'm alive, so I'm good. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it, though. Appreciate it.
Oh, definitely, man. We're going to get into your AFC North teams in a minute. But before we get to you, Mike, give me your opinion on what I just asked my brother about Chicago being ready for Caleb.
So I agree with Flo's 100%. Like, we're not ready for it because we never had somebody as big as that since we're like Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose, something like that. But they are going to attack him, even in training camp. Everything he does is going to be criticized. People love negativity. The first interception he does, they're going to criticize. The first time he can't break a tackle like Justin Fields, is going to be like, oh, Justin would have got out of this, shit like that. It's going to take – they're not going to really, like, buy all in until he start winning. Especially – and once he wins a Super Bowl, if he wins a Super Bowl, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I guarantee it. If he wins and he beats Green Bay – and he paints fucking fuck Green Bay on his nails, people are going to paint their nails, not me. People are going to do it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat. But I'm not doing it. But people are going to do it. Like I don't, like you said, I don't know where the diva and all that other stuff came from. Everybody can make stuff up. All the father say he wants ownership. I don't know if that's happened or not. I'm going off what that young man is doing. He went to his pro day. He looked definitely in shape, throwing the ball. I didn't know he was as strong as I saw him. Like, man, that guy looks, pretty much strong. He handled business. Like, I really like Jalen Johnson saying that. Like, you don't know that man. And I'm a person like, listen, If you don't know that man, don't speak on that man.
I'll shoot Jalen some bell though. Jalen did say we do have to get to know him. So,
right, but you're contradicting yourself. Don't state it. Oh man, don't come in there with that Hollywood shit. You don't know that man. What do you mean? You're just going off of what you hear. I understand you got paid. Nigga, what you just said was Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know that man. So let him come in and let him present himself and let him be the man that he want to be and the teammate he want to be. Because I guarantee you this, if he go in there and he's lighting motherfucking Jalen Johnson ass up, pause, on a route from DJ Moore, they're gonna be like, he gonna gain his respect right then and there.
They're gonna like take a couple L's off that contract.
He's gonna attack that man. Watch.
We'll talk about this more in depth in the local hour with Bang, Mikey, and Dante. But Tosin, I want to get your opinion from the outside perspective. Of course, we live in our little Chicago sports bubble over here. What's your opinion on Caleb Williams, this whole draft process, and how you think he fits with the Bears?
I mean, look, I'm just glad you guys got him some help. That's the most important thing, because Justin was out there fighting for his life for a minute. So I'm glad he's got like actual receivers going in. He's from DC, so I know how them DC dudes are. They're a little bit different in the head. So he's gonna be fine. I think all the hype's on him obviously just is what it is, but I think he'll live up to it. I think the kid he's good. He's a good player. We've all seen what he could do at SC. So it's just really just down to him just getting his shit together when he gets to Chicago, because we all know that's where he's going. So, I think the kid is good. I think he's good. And the NFC North is that's a fucking bloodbath right now. I don't know. God bless to everybody in that conference, because y'all got a lot of shit going on over there. But I think the kid's going to be good.
It went from laughable to probably the best division in football very, very quickly. And I'm still not ready to say that the Vikings are out of it yet.
The Vikings draft J.J. McCarthy.
They might. I'm hearing it might be Drake May. I know Mike don't fuck with Drake May.
Same difference.
Same thing.
What? But hey, they praised that man. I didn't want to get into the race shit, but bro, we only do it when it's a black quarterback. Motherfucker they told us that Blaine Gabbert had a chance to be the #1 pick over Cam Newton. Blaine fucking Gabbert.
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna tell you something crazy that happened to me on Twitter a few years ago. So this is when Lamar wasn't doing too hot. And somebody was just like, yo, we should what's it called? We should like get rid of Lamar and bring in JJ McCarthy. I was like, yo, man, what? Never unfollow somebody so fast in my life. Just
it's not. He should be a wide receiver. We do this to all those quarterbacks.
Hey, man, look.
But you let Christian Ponder, Jake Locker, Hackenberg, like, come on, man.
Man, I'm going to keep saying it.
Ponder, bro.
I'm going to keep saying it.
Listen, Brandon Whedon. He was 32 years old as a fucking rookie.
Boy, that's the hardest the deck been stacked on this show.
Brandon fucking Whedon.
Hey, man, look. JJ McCarthy is going, I keep saying it, JJ McCarthy, by the time he's 30, is going to be the head coach at Nazareth High School in LaGrange Park, Illinois. That's one. And Drake May is going to be Matt Ryan. He's going to have like that one or two good years. He's going to be steady. And folks just going to try to want to put him in the Hall of Fame for some reason.
Okay, Matt Ryan was the MVP.
No, that nigga.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have that. That's what I'm saying.
Matt Schwab, G. Matt Schwab, he's spun it for a few years. He's going to be Matt Schwab. That's what
I ain't mad at that. His floor, his ceiling is Matt Ryan. His floor is Matt Schaub. Y'all look at Matt Schaub in the face too? Like, damn, I
want to pivot, man. I want to talk about the AFC North now. Tosin, you're a big Baltimore Ravens fan, and I was saying, like, as soon as the Patrick Queen thing happened, you hit me like, man, he's a bitch. Tell me just how you feel about him going over there and landscape the division.
Honestly, it was funny. Because it's like 1 second. But yeah, it was funny because it was just like, yo, we obviously traded for Roquan, which thanks the Bears for that. I appreciate y'all so much for that shit, because Roquan changed all of our lives. You know what that meme was just like, that nigga changed a broke nigga's life? That's literally what Roquan did for us. Completely changed our lives. But I mean, PQ was solid when before we got Roquan, but then he changed a different level. So I think him going to Steelers, he just kind of wants to prove something that doesn't need to be proved. But I guess, man. And Geno Stone's over there now with the Bengals, and then other quarterbacks now at the Browns. So whatever. And also it's at the Steelers too, Deshaun Elliott. So it's like a whole bunch of old Ravens going around the division. So, but PQ wants to be the villain. So I'm like, hey, listen, we're gonna see that tough talk in the fall. So I have nothing else to say about that.
He ain't that tough with the number 6. I tell you that. Unless you're a goon, get you a real number. Where your 50 something at? Unless you're a goon, like get you a number 50, bro. Like, hey, shout out my nigga Frank. Bring real numbers back.
Bring real numbers back,
bro. Yeah,
and
man,
neck rolls.
And neck rolls.
Yeah, we need to bring our linebackers back with neck rolls. We need that.
What you talking about? Coming up to middle, bigger number 6.
You need the single bar. You need the single bar face mask.
Shouts out to my DNA cousin Brian Cox. He was one of the last linebackers with the neck roll joints.
My mama put fear in people's eyes.
They even said, I heard, when he was with the Ravens, that one time, I guess he was talking shit to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin told his ass, "You ain't even a real Raven yet. Like, you ain't even been here long enough to be talking shit to me."
Mike Tomlin, first of all, looks like Mike. He looks like Omar Epps. First of all, second of all, the nigga's an asshole. He, you remember when he stuck his leg out against Jacoby Jones? He's just always been. That's just how he's always been. He's just an asshole, and I respect him for it. He's like one of the few coaches that, like, I have nothing bad to say about him. Just is what it is. But I mean, he talked shit to Patrick about that, and I'm shocked that he signed with the Steelers. But I guess he wants. I honestly thought he was going to the Seahawks. I'm actually really shocked he didn't go to Seattle. So, hey,
but there's something when you have division rivals go to a different team. And I understand, like, a lot of people got on Tiki. That's because niggas just don't like Tiki. Like, Tiki is buddy ass. Like, when you look at people like you shouldn't even be talking, my G. But like, I understand why Eagles fans are upset with him going to. I mean, the Giants fans being upset with him going to the Eagles, because Julius Peppers died to me when he went to the Green Bay Packers. Like, it's just what it is. So I definitely get that. But what do you think about you guys just signed King Henry? Y'all got Derrick Henry over there. I think like the biggest issue why y'all lost the AFC Championship because you didn't run the football a lot. I feel like Lamar was trying to prove to people, probably niggas like me, that he can actually win the game throwing the football consistently. What do you think that adds to the team now?
I mean, you got a 6'3.5" goddamn giant next to Lamar. I mean, you pick your poison. So it's like either way you fucked. It's like either you got to stop Lamar, you got to start Derrick Henry, or you got to stop Zay Flowers. So either way, you got to pick your poison. So that's really, I love the fact we got Derrick Henry. I wish we would have got him during the trade deadline like we were supposed to. But listen, the cool thing I want to see now is Pat Ricard trying to block for him. Like, you try and block a big old white boy who's like 6'3", 300 pounds, and then you got Derrick Henry. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. But I think the most important thing we need to fix is our offensive line. We don't have anybody on there. So, it's nice we got Derrick Henry, but we saw what he did with the Titans, and their offensive line was trash last year. So it's like, what can we do now with a new line? That's really what I'm more intrigued to see. It's like, I'm glad we got Derrick Henry. That's a good piece, but how can we now build around him and Lamar?
Who do you think is the biggest threat to the AFC North crown? I mean, we're going to have a healthy Joe Burrow back this year. Don't know if T. Higgins will be there. That's one thing we don't know yet. Of course, the Steelers just got, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, with that whole situation. Who do you think would be the biggest threat to, the Ravens trying to repeat?
Well, there isn't the team with the all allegations quarterback room, which is the Browns.
I almost forgot about them. Yeah,
no,
the nasty man.
They got
the all allegations room.
They got two nasty quarterbacks who are just all allegations. You got crab legs and nasty man over there. So, well, it's probably gonna be the Bengals, man. They just are who they are. I mean, I have choice words for the way people talk about Joe Burrow and Lamar. I mean, I think that Joe's very good, but anytime Lamar's healthy, and Joe is too, we know who comes out on top every time, and it's Lamar. So I definitely think it's going to be the Bengals, and the Ravens going to definitely be fighting for the number one. But the Steelers, again, like, I don't know how they're going to look. I mean, they got some real sneaky pieces in there, like getting Justin and Russell. I don't know what Russell looks like right now. He looks washed, but we'll see how that turns out. And they also got Van Jefferson. I don't know how much thread he's got on his tires, but they've made some moves over there in Pittsburgh. So you can never count them out. Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin. He is great for, he's never had a losing season, so we can never count them out.
Definitely for sure, man. Let's go to our next topic. I want to talk about, when we were just talking about, we were just talking, JJ McCarthy and Drake May. So as we're heading to the draft, I think we're slowly starting to get away from the conversation of who's going to go number one. I think that has been answered by not just the Bears and their movement, but also Caleb Williams damn near told NFL Network that was going to be the case. So I think the next question is, who is going to move up to the top four? We're hearing that the Arizona Cardinals are up for business. We're hearing rumors that the Patriots might want to trade down. And then we're hearing, we saw the trade that the Minnesota Vikings made last week, that they're going to feel like they're going to try to get up into that top four to get a quarterback. And then you got the New York Giants, who pretty much all have said they're done with Daniel Jones. I want to go to you, Mikey, first. Who do you think is going to make that leap to go out there and get a quarterback outside of, obviously, I feel like the first two picks will be Caleb, and I do think that not the Redskins, but the Commanders will go Jaden Daniels. Mikey, who do you think is going to be taking Drake May or JJ McCarthy?
It's going to be the Vikings. I mean, Albert Breer came out and reported that the Vikings and the Texans already had a handshake agreement deal for the Vikings to go ahead and pick up that extra first round pick. As long as Kirk Cousins signed with the Falcons. If Kirk Cousins was going to return back to the Vikings, then that deal would have never took place. As soon as Kirk Cousins signed with the Vikings, then they went ahead and they finalized that trade. So that was already in the works. They know what they need to do. They were sniffing around the year that the Bears took Justin Fields. They were kind of already prepping for the Kirk Cousins departure and trying to get the next quarterback for the franchise. So it's going to 100% be the Vikings. They're going to move up. How high they move up, we'll see. There's been reports that the Falcons were sniffing around on pick 1, 2, and 3 at the combine, and all three of those teams told the Falcons GM Terry Fontenot that we're not moving, we're not budging. So if you go ahead and you take what we've been hearing about the Arizona Cardinals and their eagerness to trade back, and the Minnesota Vikings willingness to move up, and their desperation to move up and get a quarterback, I think that's the match made in heaven right there. It's going to be pick number 4. I know JJ McCarthy's pro day was today. I haven't had a chance to really look and see how it's going. What the talk is out of there, but they're gonna try as best as possible to go ahead and maybe get a Drake May or a Jaden Daniels. But if not, they'll take JJ McCarthy. They need a quarterback. There's no way you can go in thinking Sam Darnold is your future. And what better than to do it in a year where you have multiple first round picks, you have the cap space. You're going to have to sign Justin Jefferson. You have to entice Justin Jefferson to want to re-sign. So I think that they have a little bit more. They got to move with a little bit more angst and willingness to go ahead and get this deal done.
Definitely, I think that I know they had Jaden McCarthy. He got his pro day. I don't think that the Vikings have that many people there. I know that they're going to be at the North Carolina one next week. Yeah. I want to go to Dante, man. Dante, who you think is going to risk their life to go up and get either Drake May or JJ McCarthy?
Minnesota. I think it's mainly because of the action of every other team in the division. Like, this is building out to be, one of the strongest divisions in football. So you can't fall behind. And but the Bears moving on from Justin and going to get Caleb. The Packers being the youngest team in the NFL, but they have a lot of young talent. Then you added Josh Jacobs. You see everything they've done in Detroit and everything they're going to continue to do and build on. So you see that, and then you're Minnesota. It's like, okay, no, we have to make a move now. And so I think they're going to be the ones who are going to try to leverage whatever they need to move up. And I do think it'll probably be a Drake May more than JJ McCarthy. But I think it's going to be Minnesota. I think a lot of the other teams are trying to move back, stack assets because they understand that, with the way the NFL is set up, all it takes is really 1, maybe 2 solid off seasons, and you can be right back in it. So why rush it and take a reach if you don't have to? So I think you'll see the Vikings definitely make that move.
Mike, we know you don't like any of these quarterbacks. You don't like what's my man name? Daniel Jones. Do you think it's gonna be the Giants? So do you think it's you agree with everybody else? It's probably gonna be the Vikings.
I was saying the Vikings. I hope it is so we could deal with JJ McCarthy for years to come. Then Jalen Johnson really get a fat contract. But if not the Vikings, which I agree with the rest of the fellas, I would say the Giants or maybe the Raiders would take that risk because someone's going to panic because next year draft is most of the defensive draft. There's not that many quarterbacks coming out. I think it's just Shador. You got Ewers. You know, you might get Carson
Jackson
back.
Dart.
You probably,
Jackson Dart out there from Ole Miss.
And you got Buddy from Penn State. They got him ranked kind of high. I think his name is Drew something. I don't know, but it's not.
He really fucking sucks. He fucking sucks.
Drew Allen.
Hey, he fucking sucks, bro. Oh my
well, that's
god.
Name, Drew. I knew it was something.
Drew Allard. Drew Allard. That motherfucker got throw for 80 yards. He is ass.
So see what I'm saying? So the other teams they're seeing this. Like, listen, we might have to go all in just to get one of these quarterbacks because no matter what I say, Drake May's still better than except for fucking Shador. He's probably better than the rest of those quarterbacks by far. So someone's going to reach. I would say the Vikings. The Giants are in hell, man. I honestly, I thought the Giants should have went all in to get fucking the number one pick. Because okay, you get to cut them next year, dead money, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. They screwed up by winning that 1 year. And it kind of sounds bad, like they won a playoff game. But yes, you had to pay Daniel Jones. You know Daniel Jones not that good. So now you got to eat the contract. You don't want to play him. Tyrod came in, played way better than him. So it's like, man, the Giants, I think the Giants should have gave a haul. And I would have gave the haul and then just, okay, you got your quarterback, now just work on everything else. So I don't think the Giants will move up. I think it's going to be the Vikings. If anybody else, the Raiders – I don't know what they could give up, but I guess they might go out there with Gardner Minshew. Yeah, I call him Minshew. Because he be spinning that bitch, bro. Like that real shit. So the Raiders will be the only one, but I think it's gonna be the Vikings, which I hope it is.
Bang, man, who you think is gonna give their life up for this pick?
I don't think nobody will. I think it's a lot of talk. I think it's a lot of conversation. I think it's a lot of peacocking that's going on. The Arizona Cardinals head coach Monty Osori, I think is how you pronounce it. He came out there and used the Ryan polls. Everybody's using that. We're open for business, and I need to be blown away. Fam, you drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's not do that. So then I look at number 5. I look at the Chargers. They're more than likely getting a wide receiver, whether that is Neighbors or Odunze. So I think the Giants feel comfortable enough that they could pick JJ at 6. I think Jaden Daniels is really sliding into the number 2 pick. I think if the Patriots were, I don't even want to say if they were smart, because I'm of the mind if you got a quarterback that you see that you want, you go get him. I don't give a damn how many holes on the team you got. You go get him. And I feel like that Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf and them, I don't think they're not going to come out of this draft without drafting a quarterback. So, there's that. So I don't think nobody is going to have to jump, even though the Vikings, went ahead and got another number 1 pick from the Houston Texans. So they got like 11 and 23. I don't think 11 and 23 is going to be enough to jump the Giants. I don't think that the Chargers are going to look at that and be like, all right, we can move down. I think that would be a bad decision for them because I think they are also in the mode of best player available. So, yeah, I think the Giants is going to have a decision to make. Should we get one of the wide receivers or should we get J.J. McCarthy? And if they were smart, they would get J.J. McCarthy because what if Daniel Jones don't pass a physical? He going anyway.
Tosa, man, who you think is going to go out there and bite the bullet, and go get up there and get, probably McCarthy or Drake May?
Sounds like some dumb shit the Raiders would do. That's just what the Raiders do is dumb shit. But no, I mean, honestly, like, I just don't like any of these quarterbacks. I just personally wouldn't move up for any one of them. If they land in my lap, they land in my lap. I would never mortgage my future for Drake May or JJ McCarthy. Like, I just don't see the point of doing that. But honestly, I look at the Vikings. I'll just literally looking at the Vikings quarterback room right now. There is nobody in there. I mean, they literally have Sam Darnold, Jaron Hall, Nick Mullins. It's terrible. I don't know how you can go into season with that. Like knowing what the NFC North is doing now. So if anybody probably beat the Vikings, they'll get real desperate and just try to like mortgage their future for that because they need a quarterback badly.
Yeah, and they can't come into this division where you've got Jared Goff, who, you know, they are in prime position to, you know, win the division again. They were like a play away. Now, they were a collapse away from going to the fucking Super Bowl. I never even thought that the fucking Detroit Lions would even ever be an opportunity to get the Super Bowl. They're gonna run it back. I understand they're gonna have a way tougher schedule. They're gonna be playing first place schedule, but then you got that. You got Jordan Love. You got the potential of Caleb Williams. You can't come in there with fucking Sam Darnold. So that's why I feel like they're going to probably go up and get a JJ McCarthy or a Drake May. It don't matter who the fuck it is to me. We put them through the table twice a year. It don't matter who the fuck the quarterback is. I don't give a shit. But I want to move on to the 2021 quarterback class because this is the class that was I won't say highly touted, but people thought it was going to be a pretty good class. Headlined by Trevor Lawrence, aka Trick-Off Trev, as Bane calls him. He has been the highlight of that class, but he's been up and down in his career. I still think he'll be a good quarterback. I don't know if he'll be as great as people thought he was going to be. But then you have, you know, Zach Wilson, who was drafted number 2, complete ass. You have Trey Lance, who's on his second team right now, third on the fucking depth chart. You've got Mac Jones, who, you know, had a little fake year that everybody fell for. But I did not fall for. Now he's backing up Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, and I hate to say it, and you have Justin Fields. With that situation didn't go right now, he's the backup in Pittsburgh. I look at it like this. To me, this class tells me that, like we've been saying all episode day, drafting a quarterback is a literal fucking toss-up. But at the same time, I also showed you the impatience of today's league that you're not giving these guys opportunity to really grow. I mean, just look at fucking Trevor Lawrence's first year. We talk about the great situation that Caleb's in. Urban Meyer, I could have did a better job than Urban Meyer. Like, Urban Meyer just did not even try his one only year that he had in Jacksonville. Then he came back, had a good year with Doug Peterson in year 2, made the playoffs, came back and beat the Chargers, even though they were down because he played like shit. They came back, beat the Chargers, and then last year he had an okay year. But once he got hurt, he never really, you know, looked good for the rest of the season. And then we all know the terrible situation that Justin Fields was in. But even Justin Fields should have been drafted much higher than what he was. People overthought it. And when Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, I feel like that's just the new era we're in where these guys don't have the opportunity to grow. You know, as good as Jordan Love was last year, he wouldn't have started. He would have started right away if Aaron Rodgers then played the same game that fucking Brett Favre played when he was playing. These weren't situations where they were just intentionally sitting Jordan Love like they did Aaron Rodgers. It's because you had a Hall of Fame quarterback in the fucking way. Now, almost every opportunity they're going to start, and you're going to need results right away. And that's why you see that class get ruined. So I want to go to Mike first, man. Mike, do you think this class is the class of bust or like a kind of a cautionary tale on how to not develop quarterbacks?
I say it's 50-50, and it's on the GMs, it's on the scouters and everything. Because my thing is this. With Zach Wilson, what was really amazing? They loved the pro day. They loved that he spent around and just threw the ball deep pass. It was a beautiful ball. But I never understood, like, the pro days and the combines and shit like that. Okay, you're running a 40. 9 times out of 10, you have what? A helmet on. You have pads on. Like, you're not running a straight shot. You know, the Mac Jones thing. I think Mac Jones, he probably could have been better if he sit, like you were saying. Some of these quarterbacks, I believe, have to sit. They have to develop. And I think the coaches and the organizations went away with the development of some of these players and just like, hey, if you in the first round you get to start. No, let them sit for a year, even if it's behind a person that's a solid backup that's a starter now. Like let Tyrod Taylor, if Tyrod Taylor was in the situation, let him start. Let the rookie quarterback sit, watch, and learn from these guys. And we just went away from that. Like Mac Jones was never going to be that gunslinger or going to get the ball downfield. You know why? Fucking he played with Devontae Smith and all those players. And guess what? Devontae Smith won the Heisman. Usually the person that's throwing to the receiver wins the Heisman.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense. Like, oh, Devontae Smith won the Heisman, but Mac Jones is the one that's throwing to him. So It's because Devontae Smith is the one that's getting open. You know what I'm saying? So you have to see those things. You know, the risk. Like even the Trevor Lawrence, I still think Trevor Lawrence is good. I think he had a little setback, but I think next year he would get a little bit better. But I think that just the whole I always think Trey Lance even got a chance. So I can't even speak on him. I don't even know what the hell he could do, yes or no.
Trey Lance sitting behind Cooper fucking Rush. Like he's third on the fucking depth chart.
Like so, but like some of these guys, like I think it's 50-50. Like I said, you either gotta evaluate these guys better. If it's not there, they should sit. I talk shit about JJ McCarthy and all these other guys. Let them sit. Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr. If you draft them, don't put them out there. Let those guys sit. Let those guys learn. Unless you that top-notch quarterback, you're Trevor Lawrence, you're fucking Andrew Luck, you're Cam Newton. You know, unless you those guys, yeah. You know, Caleb Williams. Unless you those guys, everyone else should sit, man.
Mikey, man, what's your opinion on this? Do you think, we've had conversations about that class, development. As we all know, as Bears fans, development is very a key to that the Bears haven't had the opportunity to do, I feel. What do you think that this class says? And do you think that franchises will learn from this, or they'll just keep doing what they're doing now?
Well, we have to remember this is the COVID year. This is the COVID quarterback class. Shortened seasons, no pro days. My thing when we look back at the quarterback draft of that year of 2021 is you had one surefire guy at the time, and that was Trevor Lawrence. Now, he has been underwhelming, I would say up until this point. He hasn't lived up to his billing. But you have what happens when GMs and head coaches are thirsty and starved to try to hit a guy. You have two guys that were overdrafted in Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. They needed to play more games in college, which they didn't. So what does that mean? When you're taking people that need more experience, they need to be in a situation where they could sit. Trey Lance was drafted with the expectation of replacing somebody that took them to a Super Bowl, Jimmy G. He wasn't ready. He was not ready. He still isn't ready. He really needed to be a draft and stash guy later, in the draft, but because of his tools and because everybody is chasing, the next Patrick Mahomes, these GMs, they just jump out their body and they say, fuck it, we're going to take a chance. Justin Fields and Mac Jones were probably the two. They were the two that slid. They're probably the two that should have been drafted before Trey and Zach. Those two both kind of fell into poor situations. They were mismanaged. A lot of people forget that Mac Jones really had a good rookie year with Josh McDaniels as his OC. Josh McDaniels as the OC understood how to mask Mac Jones' deficiencies. Like Mike was saying, Mac Jones is a solid quarterback if you're propping him up with A1 players around him like he was in Alabama. Kind of similar to Jalen Hurts, He's not a guy that you're going to go and win because of. He just needs to be a guy that get it to his playmaker. So, Bill Belichick went ahead and tried to replicate this with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as the OCs, and that shit doesn't work. And then with Justin Fields, we all saw how that was. So, if you to go back to your question of do I think GMs are going to learn? No. Because this is the hardest position to get right in all of professional sports. And it's the most important position to get right in all of professional sports. So as long as these GMs continue, these GMs and these scouts and these coaches, as long as they continue to operate with the I'm the smartest man in the room mentality, they're going to always take a swing and they're always going to miss. So, I look back at it. It's crazy because Zach Wilson will probably be on a new team come the fall. Justin is on a new team. Mac is on a new team. Trey is on a new team. And Trevor's the only one there. And Trevor, this is going to be the year that they really, put the fire to his ass because he's been underwhelming. It's crazy to see that landscape. But all of them, you can all say that they all do need different situations too, minus Trevor. Trevor has enough down there. I just don't know what the fuck they're doing with Doug Peterson. And, they've continuously gone and got him weapons, and he just hasn't improved.
Tosa, man, what's your opinion on the 2021 class?
Big Sean made a song about that, and it begins with ass, and the rest of the song. Just terrible. I mean, but like you said, it's all development. Like we saw it with with Lamar. Like when Lamar first came in, nobody really wanted to draft Lamar. We damn near just waited to the last pick to get Lamar. So we stashed him, and then he developed really well. And the same thing with Pat Mahomes, he developed really well. So I feel a lot of times like these quarterbacks are just thrown into the fire for no reason. And when the shit hits the fan, like, oh well, we're gonna get a new project instead. It's like, yo, work on the play that you have. Like you literally just picked up a player for no reason and just didn't develop him. And we see it like in every other position too. Like look at Justin Madubuike. We had him 3rd round pick, developed him really well. Kick out a big ass contract this summer because he developed really well. But a lot of times these players just aren't properly developed, and it goes into not just football, it's like other sports as well and other things in general. Like you can see it in music, like a lot of these artists aren't developed, so we're not properly developing like people to be successful. And you're seeing it with these quarterbacks. Like why is Trey Lance a 3rd string quarterback? Like he was supposed to be somewhere good in the Niners, but now he's behind. What's it called? He's the 3rd string quarterback in Dallas. He's not going to do well in the NFL. It sucks at this point. So yeah, that draft class was just truly just a product of just bad timing and just bad product from everybody.
I'm gonna kind of frame the question a little bit for Dante here. Dante, I think I know your answer is gonna be, but who do you think out of the quarterbacks outside of Trevor, obviously, who have the best opportunity, who you believe can get past that and can at least have a really, really good career? Do you think it can be Justin? Can Mac Jones? Maybe he'll be good in backup. I do think Trevor's probably gonna miss a couple games. Or what do you think is gonna happen with that in the class in general?
I mean, I've given my Justin Fields thoughts week after week, so obviously I think he can still go out there and become a successful starter. But I actually think Mac Jones can become, a successful professional. And I know, for some people that may not mean, an everyday starter. But when you look at the fact that they had at one point the fucking special teams coach was in charge of his development. Like it was bad the last couple of years up there in New England. So with Matt, I would say Mac had the opportunity to go down there with Doug Peterson, like you said. Trevor Lawrence is gonna miss some games just because that's what he's done the last few years. So he'll get a chance to get in there and show himself when he does. And I think he has it. He'll set the tone for his career as a backup. I think he'll be a great football holder, but I think he'll be somebody that he'll definitely end up bouncing around. But I think that class as a whole, like this is a product of the way we put emphasis on the rookie contract. If you could really sit there and develop your quarterback 9 times out of 10, if you have them sit for 2 years and you're coming in on year 3 of that deal. And a lot of teams don't want to do that. Like, the Packers, they've shown you that it works, but most teams don't have the patience over Green Bay. So they're not going to ever do that. So I think that's why you've seen such an emphasis on, we need to see you shine right now because we're trying to get as many players in here as we can on these big deals while we still paying you pennies. So I think that's part of why we've seen that. And so unfortunately, that class was they all out bust right now. You can say it. It is what it is. Right now they all out bust outside of Trevor. And for me, it's crazy because I've been living in Georgia, so I've heard about Trevor Lawrence since he was like 12 years old. Like he's football Jesus down there. So they had already told you that he was going to be the next Peyton Manning and all of that. So that's part of the reason he's getting all this leeway because they just like the kid. Like that's something that everybody else in this class did not have that Trevor has. But to answer your question, I'll probably say Mac.
Bang, man, take us home on this topic.
Let's trick off Trev, number one or number 1A prospect since he was shorty, like Dante said. Trey Lance, people got to remember he only played like 4 games since high school. Or it's 4 games between like his senior year of high school and that year he had in North Dakota. Either way it go, he didn't even have reps. Like people's looking at him straight off of potential alone. So, that's what gets you right there. But the biggest thing is, and I said it before, it's the contract situation. Like, starting with Sam Bradford on the back, quarterbacks came in and they got a boatload of money. I think like Sam Bradford was one of the first players to get $100 million contract. It was some shit like that, but he got a whole bunch of money. So, when ownership got away from being able to have to shell out those big ass contracts to quarterbacks right off the bat, the contract became cheaper. So you can still put the investment in there. But also, I think about it like this too. You don't necessarily have to get them a second contract. Running backs are in to me, and QBs are in a similar situation, depending on the talent that the quarterback has. I don't have to be patient, especially if I run into a situation where the quarterback class is dope. I could go ahead and just get rid of this dude and then just go ahead and grab me another one, and I could still spend money elsewhere. So, they're just more glamorized because, the position that they play. But there are quarterbacks who, outside of the Daniel Jones luck up, do feel like, yo, y'all run out of patience with me. And now I'm on the outside looking in and shit. And I look at that draft class, that's pretty much what it is. Trevor Lawrence played well enough to get his second contract. Justin Fields did not. Daniel Jones did not. Trey Lance, I don't know what the hell is going on. So it was just easier to move on from those players. But Mac Jones, I do believe he has talent. Like we said, he's ran into a situation where a former defensive coordinator and a special teams coordinator, who both just got fired from their jobs, is looking to develop you. That's malpractice.
Definitely, man. One last football topic, then we're gonna get toasting out of here, and we're gonna close the show up talking about this Ohtani scandal. But I want to talk about. I want to rank. I want to do a little rank 'em here, a game of rank 'em, man. I want to rank the top NFL duos in the NFL. Now, one of the duos I have on this list is still yet to play together, so we're just gonna, project what we think we're gonna be. So we got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And like I said earlier, we don't know if T. Higgins is gonna be on the roster. I assume he will be. He's probably gonna be pissed off because they don't want to trade him, but I'm assuming he's going to still be on the Bengals by the time training camp kicks off. So you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You got Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, who wants a contract, and Jordan Addison. In Philadelphia, you got A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. In L.A., out here, we got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. You got Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle in the 305. And then in Chicago, we got the new duo of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I'm going to rank how I see these five, and then I'm going to go around the room and see how everybody else has their rankings. I'm going to start off with the best wide receiver room in football to me is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I feel it's a perfect balance of each other. I think T. Higgins can be a number one on another team. I'm not too sure about, the other guys. I mean, they can, but I don't know. I'm not as feeling strong about them as I do with T. Higgins. And I feel like together they just complement each other so well. Number two, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle. Tyreek Hill, I believe if he didn't get hurt last year, would have probably at least broke the 2,000-yard record last year. He has a perfect combination with Jalen Waddle as well. And those two, I believe, saved Tua's ass each and every Sunday. And not that I don't think that Tua is a good quarterback. I do. But to me, the way people talk about, and I know it's going to probably sound hot takeish, the way people talk about Brock Purdy, I feel like it's the way we need to be talking about Tua, in my personal opinion. Like, he is more of a product of his wide receivers and Mike McDaniel's amazing play calling. So I'm going to go with them, number two. Number three, I'm going to go with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith at number three, just because of, I don't want to say they saved Jalen. I'm not going to say Jalen's really, really good. But those dudes are game breakers. A.J. Brown is what took the Eagles from a really good team to Super Bowl contender once again after, the post-Carson Wentz, Nick Foles era. And like you just brought up, Mike, Devonta Smith won the damn Heisman, and when Mac Jones was the guy throwing to him. So that shows you just how good he is. Now, my next one, I'm probably going to be a homer here. I have no problem with that. Based off potential, I think it will be who got that TV on? There we go. So I think off potential, it will be Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, just because of the situation we have here. Well, you've got two wide receivers who both had 1,000 yards last year, and you have a quarterback in Caleb Williams with the potential, and the way that they're going to be trying to make Caleb look good, I think they're going to have the most opportunities there, because I believe the Bears are going to be throwing the football a lot. So that's why I got them. And then we got the last two rooms. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison next. I think that is a great combination right there. I think Justin Jefferson is probably the best wide receiver in football. I know that he is upset about his situation right now. I feel like the Vikings, if they're not fucking idiots, that they will give him the money that he deserves. He's a guy who's come out and has done what he did in college and has done it even bigger level. And Jordan Addison has showed you the reason why Caleb Williams' numbers wasn't as fantastic before, because he was the number one option at USC, and then he's now over here and he had a pretty good rookie season last year. And I'm going to put Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp number 2 in final at the 5. And the only reason I got them final is because I hope that Cooper Kupp still has it. You know, he got hurt a lot last year, you know, wasn't the same Cooper Kupp from the Super Bowl year. So if he can be the Cooper Kupp of old, then yeah, I'll probably put them a little higher. But Puka Nacua, man, he had a great rookie season. I think he's just going to be better and better. Mike, I'm going to go to you. What do you rank these wide receiver groups?
I kind of almost pretty much agree with you. I would have had Tyreek and Jalen Waddle number 1 easily if they didn't have a quarterback that had a noodle for an arm. Like it would have been easily them. So I would agree with you. I would say Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is number 1. I'm probably one of few people, and this is not knocking Justin Jefferson. I don't know why I just like Jamar Chase more. I don't know what it is.
It's not a hot take.
On a quick hit or something, like he's housing that bitch. I don't know. And like JJ's still cold though. Jettas is still cold. Don't get me wrong. So I would say Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, number 1. I would go with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That speed on both of those guys is just amazing. Like the speed is what's helping or hurting fucking Tua, because they just running so goddamn fast and they know that they can't throw that far. So I would say that would be number 2. I don't know about the DJ Moore Keenan Allen thing, so I'm not going to rank that because I haven't seen it. Like individually, yes. You know, Keenan Allen had 108 catches, almost 1,300 yards, and he only played like 13 games. So that's fucking amazing. So number 3, I would go with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Like I said, got one big guy on the outside, and the other one very, very fast. Devontae Smith, I know when he was coming in the league, they worried about his weight. I think it was rumor at first that man was 160 pounds or some shit like that. But it just showed you that he's still talented. He's making a name for himself. He's definitely improving. And then I would go with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, just for sake that Jordan Addison just got to show it again. You know, he was a rookie last year. Definitely had a good rookie season. And Justin Jefferson, so he kind of pulls most of the weight. Puka and Cooper, to me, they're the same fucking receiver. That's the only reason. It's just the same receiver. They're small. They run excellent routes, and they know how to get open, which is great. And then they got Matthew Stafford throwing to them. But in all be all, like these are still all of them are dynamic duos. It's kind of hard to like rank them, but obviously we have to. So I would go with Jamar first, Tyreek and Jalen second, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith fourth, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And then I'm going to go Puka and Cooper. And I just didn't do DJ Moore and Keenan Allen because I got you. Haven't really seen that much.
Well, their combined numbers is with DJ and Keenan Allen combined from last year was 204 receptions, 607 yards, and 15 touchdowns. I think DJ had like 7, and Keenan had 8. Tosin, how do you are your rankings that much farther different than mine? Or how you got these?
Nah, we're all basically the same. I mean, I've seen what Jamar and T do twice a year, unfortunately for me. God bless Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens. Bless their hearts. Again, Ty and Jalen, I've seen what they've done against us too. They've beat our ass, and we also beat them, especially last year. That was fun to see. But again, like back to the quarterback situation, I don't have anything bad to say about Tua, but that boy's arm it ain't the strongest. Tell you that much. Then I have AJ and Devonta, just because, you know, those two are just freakish. Whenever AJ doesn't feel like tweeting like a punk, like he always does, he's a really good receiver. But AJ, I don't know, man, need to get his head in the game. One of the funniest things about Devonta is, like, I'm the first time I heard him speak, I was like, yo, you are country as hell. Like,
he's super Bama.
Yeah, that man is an absolute Bama. Then, like I said, like you said, I haven't really seen DJ and what's it called play together, so I can't really rank them.
Right.
Puka and Cooper are literally like, you know, except for they literally the same person. It's like 1A, 1B, literally the same exact person. So yes, all of our rank is basically similar. I mean, as long as we all have, I think Jamar and T is number 1, because Those two are just absolutely fucking freakish. But I definitely want to see more out of Jordan. I think Jordan Addison is a really, really good receiver. Actually, low-key wanted him in Baltimore, but I'm glad we got Zay instead. So, yeah.
Yes, Zay, I like Zay. Zay had a good rookie year. I think he got a good future with him too. Mikey, I'm gonna frame the question a little different because I feel like we've all pretty much for the most part got the same list. What are your projections for Keenan and DJ Moore, and how high do you feel like they could get on the rankings?
Projections wise, I would like them to be, and this was like my honorable mention because like I agree that we all were kind of like in unison with them, except I had Tyreek and Jalen 1 and Jamar and T2. I would like to see them complement each other like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I think that's another underappreciated wide receiver tandem. I believe DJ Moore is better than Chris Godwin, but DJ Moore knows how to kind of get into them soft spots in the zone, and the same with Keelan Allen. And they're able to, Chris Godwin and DJ Moore are similar in being able to get yards after the catch. So I would like to see some type of production from there. I don't know who's going to lead out of those two in interceptions or in touchdowns. I don't know if it might be somebody like Keenan Allen just more because of his build. But for me, I think that we can for sure still have another situation where they might not both obviously have 1,300 yards passing. If they do that, then Caleb is going to blow whatever passing numbers we said earlier out the water. But I think we're going to have for sure 2 1,100-yard receivers, or maybe one be at 13, one be at 11. But the other one, whichever one has the least amount of yards, is going to have more touchdowns. I just think it's going to be really nice to see for us. The Chicago Bears are actually stepping into modern day football now. Like, I feel like we have an actual legitimate shot when we line up against most teams. I would like to see what they do at wide receiver 3. But for Keenan and DJ Moore, I think they both can be Pro Bowl wide receivers. I think it could be the same way that we see in seasons where AJ Brown and Devontae Smith both hit Pro Bowls, or Jalen Waddle and Tyreek both get Pro Bowl appearances. I think that's something that we can get out of that tandem.
Bang, Dante, man. I'm gonna go Bang first, then Dante. Do you have any problem with this? Any changes with the list, or how you think about these top wide receivers?
Nah, man. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is number 1 on my list. Justin Jefferson just because it's Justin Jefferson. That boy cold. The Eagles is the one that I may question a bit because Smith kind of like tailed off a little bit. Puka and Kupp, they are the same wide receiver and they both cold. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, if healthy, like they would be higher up there for me if healthy. And I do think that DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, I think that they have the potential to get at least top 3 on this list.
All right, Dante, take us home. What you think about these wide receivers?
I mean, I agree with them. I do, but I'm really mad Kirk Cousins left Minnesota because I think that Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison had the potential to be the best duo in the league. I agree, Jamar and T and everything we see them do, but I think both of them are really dope, especially Jordan Addison. I know he showed flashes last year, especially after Justin Jefferson went down. But the fact that their quarterback situation is so up in the air, I think they'll be a great duo, but they won't be what they can potentially be. And I agree with Mike about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill because with that type of speed, it's tough to defend that, no matter what they do. But like you said, when your quarterback has limitations, it's only so much they can do. But overall, I think that that list is solid. I would just say going forward, I expect Jefferson and Addison, for as long as they're together, they'll start to climb up that list.
Definitely, man. Tosa, man, we appreciate you for coming on, bro. Let them know where they can get in tune with you, where they can follow anything, any projects, anything you work on at the moment.
Yeah, follow us at Shirtless Plantain Show. It's where we're going to do a lot of like the soccer content and stuff we got going on. And my personal Twitter is like TSN MKND. So if y'all want to follow me on there. But yeah, trying to get more people into soccer. That's really all we're trying to do around here, especially like Black people. So that's what we're trying to do.
Definitely, man. Definitely got to have you back on the show soon.
Yeah.
We're going to get you out of here. Bang. You're going to be back for the local hour because we're going to talk a little baseball to close this thing up.
Hey
So,
man, Shohei ain't do it. That's all I got.
that man
Hey.
called him Shohei.
Hey, before we leave, apparently they said that man was betting in New York. He was going up to the Bronx and was betting up there. It was like shooting dice. Apparently, I just read that on Twitter. So
He getting his Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
a duo that's going to be nice. Nico and Tank Dale. Remember that one. That they once if Tank Dale come back after injury good, yeah, I like Nico and Tank Dale.
All right, man. Toast, man, we gonna holler at you, bro.
All right, y'all be easy.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. So let's get into this, this baseball situation, man. So of course, Shohei Ohtani is in the topic of the news right now, and not because what you thought he'd be the topic of, with the LA Dodgers getting their season started, a week ahead of time, which is a little weird to me. I didn't know that till I was informed by our baseball collective here, man. And by the way, we got some dope dropping for y'all on the Patreon next week. We got the I'm not gonna hold you, the hot corner baseball divisional breakdown pod. It was me, Courtney, Mikey, and Dante. Man, there's gonna be a lot of baseball content coming from the crew this summer. But I'm gonna give Mikey the floor on this. I'm pretty sure you have a better description of everything that's going on with this Shohei Ohtani situation. I don't want to leave anything out. So tell the people what's going on with Mr. Ohtani right now.
Well, right now, damn, Colorado just gamed Florida at the buzzer. March Madness, baby. And Auburn's about to lose. Well, right now with Ohtani, basically it came out that that his interpreter, Ipe, was basically being investigated in a grander case for an illegal gambling syndicate in California, where basically he had racked up a certain amount of debt, almost $4.5 million in debt, in which he came out saying that, he told Ohtani that he ran into debt, and Ohtani was going to go ahead and pay for his losses. So there is records of wire transfers from Shohei Ohtani's personal account to this bookmaker, for making payments. There were 2 payments that were made for $500,000 each. And right now, we're really still in the fact, the fact collecting and information gathering. But clearly the Dodgers didn't want that around, so they went ahead and they fired Ipe Mizuhara, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter. And for those that don't know, this man has been with Ohtani since 2018 when he came to the United States. He's been an interpreter for the Angels. They sit down together every day and they go over, over film, over pitching analytics, over hitting analytics. They're best friends. They travel on the road together. They're always together. So, regardless of what Ohtani's involvement in, whether he was the one gambling and his interpreter is the one falling on the sword, or, the interpreter was the one gambling, it's hard to think that people that spend so much time together don't know about, what's going on. So, it has come out that there were no wagers placed on Major League Baseball. The wagers were on international soccer, college football, NFL, and some NBA. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And as of today, Major League Baseball is now officially launching them, their investigation into it, into collecting all the facts. So we have to assume that Ohtani and his people will be soon meeting with Rob Manfred and those people and the MLBPA, and so will the interpreter, because this is a pretty big case. Regardless of if Ohtani was the one gambling, it still happened in a state where, or if he was or he wasn't, or Ipe was and Ohtani was paying, it still happened in a state where gambling is still deemed illegal. So any payments to an illegal bookmaker would still be deemed illegal. So there was obviously a law broken here, and now it's trying to gather all of the information and seeing who really is at fault and who's being led astray.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that too, because it's like I don't know who's to blame here. Like there was some law that was broken, obviously. So I don't want to say Shohei did this or whoever did that, even though it kind of does feel like his boy falling on the sword for him. But I will say this about the situation. There's two things I take from this. One is we're getting more into the gambling world where it's being advertised more. I mean, media companies are being promoted, are being sponsored by gambling companies. Shit, fucking ESPN. ESPN is talking about this with the ESPN bet logo on the right-hand corner of the fucking screen. I do think there's a lot of fake conversation about the state of gambling right now because I feel like people are fake caring about this shit. Like, and not to say all people, I'm just going off a couple things. Like, I don't think people give a fuck about gambling the way they want people to think they give a fuck about gambling, or this is going to be an even bigger problem. And I'm not saying that it's not, but you don't really care. A lot of people are just mad about this situation because Shohei Ohtani didn't pick their goddamn team. Let's just call a spade a spade. We can even go to 30 years ago with the Michael Jordan thing. A lot of that was we need to find something to tear Michael Jordan down because he looks so fucking squeaky clean. And so, like with Shohei Ohtani, his relationship with the media, a lot of people were upset about how he went away his free agency, not speaking to the media and things of that nature. So I feel like that has some part to do with it. And I also feel like people are doing too much of this. We're saying, well, we need to get rid of this right now where it's not legal everywhere. And I just don't feel like that's a fair conversation to have because I don't think people really care about that. Like if we're going to talk about the problems that gambling has, and y'all correct me if y'all think I'm wrong or not, I feel like it's everybody has a vice. Do vices go too far? Yeah. We see alcohol ads all the damn time. I don't see motherfuckers, getting, up in arms about alcohol. Like every niggas is professional weed heads. And not that I say I have a problem with that, but that's a drug too. Everybody has a vice. So why are we acting like betting is so much worse than any of these other things going? This is from somebody who drinks a lot. But let's just be real about the fucking situation here. And we just need to get into what you're really, really mad about. And for the MLB's perspective, I get why they're upset because in the MLB rules, you cannot bet on the game of baseball. So I get that. But let's just have the actual conversation that we're trying to have here. It's not about betting. It's you're upset about Shohei Ohtani. That's really what it comes down to. Now, as far as Ohtani and his interpreter, whoever did it, whether it was Shohei or his interpreter, y'all niggas need to have a better game plan. Like there should have been somebody just said, all right, what we gonna say? Like, because you can't come out here and say, oh, this was on me, but Shohei transferred money to me, and then like not too long later, oh well, he never had anything to do with the money. It don't smell right. I'm not investigating, even I know that shit. So whoever did it, they need to get their fucking story straight. Do I think anything will happen to Shohei? No, they're going to protect him just like the NBA did Michael Jordan. They protected Michael Jordan. Like he didn't get suspended. The long myth of he got suspended. If you thought that David Stern will take his biggest asset and suspend that nigga, it doesn't make any sense. The MLB is not going to take their biggest asset, which is Shohei Ohtani, and suspend him, whether that was wrongdoing or not. We know the MLB don't give a fuck. So to wrap my opinion up on this, I just think people need to have more of a sincere conversation on what we really mad about. Because I don't think niggas really care about the fucking gambling. Go ahead, Mike.
Right. So, like you said, it's not like they're going to do anything anyway. It's going to be swept under the rug. He's the biggest star. They're not going to let that money go down the drain. Like, MLB don't give a fuck. Like, when the steroid era was there, everybody hoopla, all that's bad. If it was so fucking bad, give the money back. Give the money back. When the steroid era, give the fucking money back then. Guess what? You're not, because your ratings go up. Shohei Ohtani comes in town. The Dodgers, the jersey sales, everything, like, don't matter if he did it. Like, honestly, like you said, the only reason why it would be, in my eyes, wrong, because like Mike said, in the state of California, you can't gamble. But to me, honestly, if you're not gambling on your sport, go ahead and gamble. Do what the fuck you want to do. I don't care what you do in your spare time, as long as you ain't murdering people, molesting people, all that other crazy shit. Do what the hell you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Scott said, you have a vice. Like, people smoke weed, people, they drink, they gamble. Like, that's the normal fucking American way. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to take away the biggest asset. He just signed this big contract. And trust me, if he did it, somebody's going to take the blame. Yep. And that's just what's going down. So I don't really, care. Do I think he did it? I don't know. I don't really, say give a fuck. if the interpreter going down for it, I'm pretty sure he's going to be well paid off for going down for it. So
he gonna be rich forever. Ohtani gonna look out for his boy.
Right. So
100%.
I just want to know, how did they find this out, and where did they go snooping to find this out?
So the guy, basically the bookmaker in California,
Okay.
he's already been under investigation. So this is like a larger thing that scales back with like some MLB player, like we're not MLB players, but with some other people in Las Vegas. Like this is a whole big conglomerate. So they start doing bank research, while this guy is fighting his case, and you start seeing wire transfers from Shohei Ohtani, and they literally said on the wire transfer, Ohtani. So Ohtani means loan in Japanese. So like it's kind of crazy, like it just so happens that it happens to be that. So the bookmaker also would use Ohtani's name. He never said that Shohei Ohtani and he would never say that Shohei Ohtani bet with him, like he knew who he was, but he used that to prop up his organization to get more people in and betting and stuff with him. So it's a whole big thing where they got caught in the middle of it. I know his interpreter makes $500,000 a year. So if you're talking about two payments of $500,000, $1 million, like, we'll come to see what happens, but maybe Ohtani's just really a good dude. Like, listen, like this is all your money. Like you literally gambled away. Yeah, you gambled away all your money. I'll front you on that. But I want to know, like, and kind of like to Scott's point about the alcohol advertisement, even like the cigarettes. We're just seeing it in real time. I'm a gambler, and I made my first bet when I was 19 years old. Like this has been around forever. My father would gamble. Everybody, gambling has been around for ages. I just think now that it's socially acceptable, and now these states are collecting taxes on it, we're seeing the live effect of what our grandparents were seeing, when alcohol commercials were coming out, when cigarettes and Newports and Camel 100 commercials were coming out and advertising. Yes, it's very bad. Kids can see it, but we're just going through it right now. And it's just a really big financial, monster where it brings in so much revenue that it's hard. Like, I think to myself that it's still very, like, I think it's getting a little overboard. Because, like, I got like my godson, he's like a junior in high school, and he's sending me Prize Pick tickets and shit, and like, I'm not promoting that shit. I've never told him that, but like, it's there. It's the same way as like when I was 16 years old, like I had my first pull of, of the blunt, like I had my first, I remember the first alcoholic beverage I had was some Bacardi Limon.
And it wasn't at 21 either.
No, I was 17, I was 16 years old, and I had my first cup of Bacardi Limon like a true Puerto Rican, so like I understand what is happening. And like Scott said, a lot of people are disingenuous. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna stay consistent on my Shohei Ohtani rant from early in the year. What a man does in his personal life is in his personal life. Like, as long as it's not on baseball and it's not messing with the integrity of that game, then he should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Dante, man, what you think about this scandal going on?
I think the scandal is really a non-starter. Like, leagues can't take money from gambling outfits and then sit here and say, "Oh no, that's not right." That's hypocritical as fuck. As for Shohei, I don't think anything will happen to him. I do think the first statement we got was probably the truest statement we got, when his homie was just a fucking gambling addict, and Shohei said, "Fuck it, I'm rich, nigga, I'll pay it off for you." Yeah. And then he just walked it back after the fact, because that just don't look good. Like, you knew that your homie was gambling through an illegal bookie, and you let it keep going. So that just didn't look good on that end. But the whole gambling thing, no, this shit is a problem. Like, it's a problem. Don't get me wrong. As anybody that's been following us for years, my vices and what I do. But
we can see it. We can see it in you now.
Yeah, I would say it. But with the gambling, bro, it's a little different, just because when you have things like alcohol, weed, and certain shit like that, you can always hit that wall where it's like, all right, I can't. You literally, your body won't let you keep going. But with gambling, you can borrow, and borrow and rob Peter to pay Paul and
That's a
leverage
good point.
this and leverage that. And so it's gonna get to a point. And I think, here we are, we really only, a few years into it, and now 40 out of 50 states have it. We're gonna get to a point where it's like back in the day where motherfuckers are losing their houses, losing their cars, really going overboard, ODing with this shit. And we're gonna see that happen. I think with the athletes, we're probably a year or two away from our first, even though this is a big scandal, but I think this one will be swept under the rug. From our first like real big like point shaving, this motherfucker did this. Like NIL probably makes, takes a little bit of the heat off of it, so you don't have as many college athletes who want to like point shave and do shit like that. But it'll get to a point where the money gets big enough and you're gonna have people doing that. And so I think just the more you have these leagues continuing to accept money from the gambling outfits, it's hard for you to sit here and really try to police this shit and say, bro, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like you said, obviously, I think the only thing you shouldn't be able to do is bet on a team that you play for, because you directly affect those results. But to sit here and try to be like, no, y'all can't gamble, when we all know, like anybody with sense probably has a homie of a homie or somebody make a bet for them. Like it's plenty of ways out there for them to bet. So that shouldn't be the thing, bro. Like,
yeah, and this just came through right now. Major League Baseball has opened a formal investigation. Oh shit. Damn, OnlyFans pop up. Major League Baseball has opened a formal investigation into the matters surrounding Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani and his former interpreter Ipe Mizuhara. MLB is expected to request interviews with all parties, including Ohtani and Mizuhara, a source told ESPN. Although officials will have no way to compel Mizuhara's cooperation since he no longer works for baseball, so he really doesn't need to speak to them. Ohtani also has a right to refuse cooperation as a member of the MLB Player Association. Ohtani could also invoke under his right an interpretation of arbitration precedent to refuse cooperation because of a criminal investigation that's already away. He also will be, as far as it's being reported, unless something dramatic happens where it flat out comes out that Ohtani was the one gambling, he's going to remain on the Dodgers active roster and will continue to play while this investigation goes on because administrative leave only applies to the domestic violence policy.
Let's be very clear. There'll be
Pete Rose pissed off.
Yeah,
Pete Rose is
but Pete Rose was betting on. Pete Rose was betting on his team. You know,
but I would have wanted that shit too. I don't gotta talk to y'all. What the fuck is the player?
Right.
Man, fuck that. He mad as hell right now. Pete Rose, he pissed off.
Well,
Free Pete Rose, man.
This is gonna be the last time we talk about this topic. I'm pretty sure, man. We're gonna wrap up today's episode. Mike, thank you for joining us as usual, man. You can follow Mike at Please Say the Baby on all social media platforms. Of course, get in tune with our sponsors, man. Pillars. Go to pillarsclub.co right now. Visit the Instagram pillars_club, and you can visit any of the 3 locations in the Chicagoland area. Mike, is there anything you want to promo, anything y'all got, specials, whatever you want to talk about before we get you out of here?
I mean, we got in the store. We got some $20 shirts, shorts, $13 pocket tees, stuff like that. Just stop on through.
Stop on through, man. Build with the guys, man. Me, Mikey, Dante, are you joining us for the local hour? You finna go hit some courses up?
No. It's me. I got time. I'm gonna
get you out west with us. Oh, yeah, you still got time, man. So we about to do the local hour. You can get into the local hour. Subscribe right now, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. You can subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, or you can subscribe to the $10 I'm Not Gonna Hold You All Access. I'm Barbers Chat All Access tier, where we have everything on this. New episode of Summer Sessions up right now. We're gonna have a new episode on Tuesday. We're gonna have a deep dive of the Freaknik documentary. I've got some thoughts on that documentary that I saw last night. Good documentary, but I have some thoughts on that. We'll talk about that. Go ahead, Dante.
We need to have a conversation about the men in our community. When I say I'm talking about Black folks, age 45 to 65. Because like you, I got some thoughts.
I got some thoughts too.
It's some thoughts about them niggas, but we gonna,
It's
you
some
know, we
thoughts
gonna talk
about
about
the
that.
niggas. It was a lot of Deshaun Watson shit going on, and on Freak League. But we gonna talk about that. So on the Patreon exclusive, local hour, we're gonna be recapping Caleb Williams Pro Day. You know how we feel about that and everything that came from that. We're gonna talk about DJ Moore and Jalen Johnson's comments these last couple days on Caleb Williams. We'll talk about is the NFC North the best division in football, man. And then also I'm gonna get what I talked to Mike and Joe about. We're gonna get their opinions, Mikey, Dante, and Bang, on whether they think that Caleb is ready for Chicago fans, Chicago media, the Chicago sports landscape. Are the Bears ready? Are Bears fans ready for the superstar element that's gonna come with Caleb Williams being on the team? And subscribe to the Patreon to take that up. That should be up sometime tonight. I'm going to edit that as soon as we finish that. So I'm trying to have it up by 9 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see how that goes, man. Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. Y'all can follow Barber's Chair Network at Barber's Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Follow H&B Media. H&B Media TV on Twitter, H&B Media on Instagram, and like I said earlier, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars, pillarsclub.co, Pillars_club on Instagram, and of course visit any of their 3 locations. Mike, what's the West Loop address? I don't fuck it up.
It's 1167 West Madison Street.
1167 West Madison Street, and of course you can visit the Chicago Ridge location and the Orland Park location, man. So we're gonna holler at y'all on Monday, and shout out 816 people in the chat in the stream today. We went from 2 weeks ago, we were having only 50 people on the stream. In the streams, we had 860. So we appreciate all y'all supporting the game. Yeah, shoot it, whatever.
Go Cubs.
We appreciate everybody who's been supporting the team, and we back on Monday. No show next Friday, but we'll be back on Monday. So Dante, take us about
We
here.
move. We move.